is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome. It is December the 18th, 2021. This is the eighth time covering the auction. Before we bring out our co-host tonight, Erik Myers, I do want to cover a few quick things. I want to thank last week's guest on Sports Cards Live, Adam Martin, co-founder of Dave and Adam's Card World. What a great discussion we had. Go check that out on the YouTube channel or on the podcast. I want to let you all know tomorrow on Collectible Live on the Collectible YouTube channel, my guest will be Brian Dennison, also known as Cajun Cardboard on Instagram. Met with him the other day. Great guy. We're going to have a really good time tomorrow. Join us 7 o'clock Eastern on the Collectible YouTube channel. Next Saturday on the show, and that is Christmas Day, December the 25th. We will be having an episode of Sports Cards Live that night, Christmas Day. Our guest will be Rob Gerard, known as your sports card therapist. Looking forward to a very relaxing, chilled out evening on Christmas Day with everybody and with Rob, of course. Later tonight, guys, I'm going to join up on the Sports Card Anonymous YouTube channel with Dakota. He is celebrating his 1-year anniversary on YouTube today. I will be heading over there after this stream to hang out with him for a little bit and hear about how his year has gone. I want to thank channel supporter Whatnot. Check out Whatnot, the Whatnot app, for 1-minute breaks, auctions. They have a lot going on there. Check out Whatnot. I'll put it up on the ticker right now. Check that out. And for tonight, guys, let us know if you're bidding on anything. If you have anything for sale in this premier auction tonight, let us know. Erik and I would love to talk about it. Let's bring him out. Erik, you ready? He's ready. Too bad if you're not ready. I'm bringing you out. How are you, buddy? Can't hear me.
I can't hear you, Jeremy. It sounds
I don't
really
know why
slow.
you can't hear me. Great start, buddy. Great start. You
Should I
figure that
exit and
out
come
if
back
you
in?
can. How you doing? All right.
Let me try to exit and come back in.
All right. We'll let him go out and come back in. As you guys know who join us for these PWCC Premier Auction coverages, Adam Gray, basketball card fanatic, is usually here early and Erik joins later. We are switching their roles tonight. Adam will be joining us a little bit later, and Erik will be kicking off the show with us. But let's take a look. There are 252 lots in the Premier Auction this month. As I usually do, I go through and kind of click that star and favorite as many as I feel like. And this time, I think I had 20 favorited. Let's see if he's back. Let's see if this is going to work. How do you hear me now?
Perfect.
Awesome.
Nice.
Welcome to the show. So, Erik, this is your first time joining from the beginning. You must be excited. Come on.
I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Adam's got some pretty big shoes to fill.
Right on. Well, and just so everybody knows, you do work. You are an employee of PWCC. Yes, what's your job there? Tell everybody again what your job at PWCC is.
I'm a sales liaison. I help people with their accounts. And sometimes simple things like just shipping labels, also helping people with their vault management, vault portfolios, how to navigate when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell, just the overall feel of the market. I've been doing this almost 16 years now. So, I mean, it's a lot of experience to kind of bring onto the team.
How's everything going at PWCC right now? I mean, we've had several monthlies. We've had the Premier Auction now. I mean, ever since you guys have not been able to transact on eBay, seems like things are. I'm hearing a lot of commentary out there that people are just talking about the PWCC monthly auctions. How are you guys feeling about how they've been going on your own platform?
Well, the Premier is doing amazing. Like, that's second to none. We're absolutely elated with the results of Premier. Monthly, we're going to change it up in January. Monthly's been doing pretty good, but we're going to try to thin it out a little bit and go weekly. So that way our customers don't have to go through so many cards at one short window of a time. But other than that, we like it. The market's growing. overall in PWCC, we're adding a lot more to the content, a lot more publicity about the cards, and just the presentation of the cards in the hobby as a whole. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2022. A lot
So
more than I thought I would be.
just to be clear, the premiere that we're going to talk about tonight is a monthly auction, but then there's also what you guys call the monthly, and that's where there's 20,000 plus lots on the auction, and it's once a month with the different sports ending on different nights. Are you saying then that come 2022, the monthly will turn into a weekly, so that so instead of being maybe 20,000 lots per monthly auction, we'll have maybe 5,000 lots? Is that kind of what you guys are going for?
Yeah, so it'll start every Thursday. And so they all start on Thursday and they end the following Sunday. So not like 4 days away, but 10 days away. So you'll have lots start on Thursday. You'll go through the week, and then you'll have another batch start on, the next Thursday. And 3 days later, the first batch will end on Sunday. And we're doing that really, it's to get more traffic throughout the whole month is, goal number one for the website, right? You want foot traffic constantly because you want to evolve to a full month marketplace, not a 2-week marketplace. You want to evolve, encompass the whole month. But mostly it's really to help our sellers, because what's happening now is you have sellers send stuff in the 15th, the 18th of the month. It goes live on the 3rd. So there's a 2-week window there. They run for 2 weeks and another 2 weeks to get paid. It's 6 or 7 weeks from the day they ship the card before they get paid. Now, if you ship the card and we get it on like a Friday, well, it runs the next Thursday. Or if it comes in on the weekend, we get it scanned and ready to go, it can run live in 4 days. So you're talking about a 2 or 3 week cutout of the payment period. Plus, if your card's already in the vault, and you want to encourage people to put your cards in the vault that we already have them, you can click the button on Monday or Tuesday, and boom, 48 hours later, it's running on Thursday. I mean, it'll really make it a lot more streamlined for our sellers, and that's the key, because the sellers have the stuff with us. They've already entrusted us, and they're the ones that have the product that the buyers are trying to sell. So we want to have money back in their pocket as soon as possible.
Awesome. So continuing to evolve and improve the format and the platform as well. Let's say hello to everybody. We have extended bidding starts in 22 minutes, guys. If you are one of the fortunate people who are going to be competing for some cards in tonight's premier auction, you do need to get your bid in within the next 22 minutes in order to qualify for extended bidding. I've thrown up those rules onto the ticker right now, so they are there. But let's say hello to everybody. We got Studio Sports. It's a treat having you here. We got Slab Strong Tim in the house. I wish Erik was my dad. Birds on the bat. What's going on? Jeremy from Collectors League. Good evening to you, sir. Dennis Lescombe. Hey, glad to have you back live. Gem Mint Cards. Let's go. Yeah, check out Victory Investments. He wrote and performed that intro song. Merry Christmas to you, Tim, at Slab Strong. And I see that, and everybody else, of course, I see that Playground Rule says we need an episode with Slab Strong. Well, ask and you shall receive. Tim is scheduled to appear on Sports Cards Live on January the 15th. So he will be making his appearance, and I'm looking forward to hearing his story from start to finish. Birds on the bat. Interested to see what the Jordan and first edition Zard end at. Always interesting to watch those cards. We have Joe Perot from Santa Cruz. What's going on, my guy? Birds on, and the Luca 1010. So PSA 10 card, PSA 10 on the autograph as well. Currently at $650,000. Tim says Erik does it all. Jeremy says, Erik, where is your famous backpack? Tell us about what's this famous backpack all about?
It's right over there in the corner, actually. So when I got into cards about 16 years ago, I didn't have any money. I didn't. So I went to like a Marshall's or something and bought this $9.99 Transformer backpack because it was cheap. And to be honest, I still carry that kids. It's like a 12-year-old kid's Transformers backpack, and that backpack's probably held probably in today's times $80 million in cards. Every card I've ever owned has sat in that backpack.
So we need to get that backpack, cut it up, and put it into an Erik Myers card, number to 90. Your RPA.
That'd be awesome.
It would probably have to be a tribute. You're too old for an RPA right now. It'd have to be a tribute RPA. All right, let's keep going. Jared says, "What is Erik's?" Oh, that's a good question. What's the last Kobe that you'd sell, Erik?
My one of one. So We saw the Logoman sell on Golden Auction, right, for 912. That was the first Logoman 1 of 1. 2 years before that, the first year Ultimate Collections, that was his first licensed true 1 of 1. They made 5 different pictured 1 of 1s that year, and I have the highest graded of his first 1 of 1 ever. So I still have. It's probably worth 300, something like that. That'd be the last Kobe I sold. His first NBA license 1 of 1.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Tim is going to be getting the Collectors League logo tattooed on him. That Tim and Jeremy having a lot of fun in the chat, guys. I love it. Carlos likes the change to the PWCC monthly. Colin Murray, good evening. Great to see you. Game Time Gallery. This is interesting. Won 2 lots in the PWCC monthly just a couple days ago. Items already shipped and expected to be on my doorstep on Monday. Wow. He says PWCC is the best auction house to deal with. That is really fast. We got Justin Bode in the house. What's up, Justin? Albert Jones, Rich Franks, PW Probstein. I don't know what that means. Jordan Riker, long time no see. How are you? And he wants to know, Eric, what date will the first weekly January auction start?
The first Thursday, I believe. That's the goal. The first Thursday. I don't know the date, so you just look at the calendar. Whatever the first Thursday of the month is. Let me look.
That would be the 6th.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it would close on the 16th.
6th to the 16th. Thank you, Eric. Shannick, good evening to you. David Owens in the house. What is going on? He's got his eyes on the Chronology Gold Bird Magic Dual Auto. I saw that. What a beautiful card. And Daniel Busby, great to have you as always, Daniel Busby. All right, Eric, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look at the first page of the auction, and then let's go to the last page. Someone sent me a message after last month when we did this, and they said, it'd be cool if you went to the lowest bids on the page. Go to the end and see what's going on there. So I think we will do that. Before we do, I just want to see if we can mix this up a bit. Let's see if we can. StreamYard has like some new views. That one, I think I still like that one. No, not that one. We lose Eric with that one. Now we lose the other screen. There's me and Eric. There's me and Eric on the side, and there we are on the bottom. I think if we do that, but the problem is if I bring up a comment, we might, let's see here. Let's see. Justin Bode. Oh, it pushes you up. Look at that. Hopefully we see some hockey tonight. Okay, we'll go with this one.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
There's probably, I think there's a PSA 8 Gretzky. That's usually the only hockey card that we see on the PWCC. But, once they get some Bobby Orr, some Gordie Howes, they'll definitely be there as well. Birds on the Bat says, is there a cap to the number of items PWCC would like to have in a monthly premiere? Is there no limit? It's a good question, Eric. I mean, the first time you did it was like 50 items. You've been up to 270. Now you're down to 250. Is there a cap on this thing from the PWCC perspective?
Well, so we're going to start enforcing. Well, we're going to try to keep sticking to the 20,000. We're going to start try to really refining. We've got an underwriter team that process these cards. We're really going to start trying to hone those cards in to where they're valued at least 20K, right? So I think our target goal is probably around 150 to 175 cards. We want to bring it back. Last month we had 274 lots. 55 of them ended under 20K. So we'd really like to thin it out a little bit if we could. I know it sucks. It's a horrible answer, the sellers, but we really want just 150, 175 cards. We can focus and fine tune it. That's the end goal. That is.
All right. That's a great answer. Did I win the Ovechkin ice during the monthly? I did not, Alex. I did not. So we did a hockey coverage of the PWCC monthly auction a few days ago, Eric, and I showed the cards that I bid on sort of by accident. One of them was the Ovechkin Ice Premier card. And the one out of 99, BGS 95, was it like, I don't know, $2,700. And so I was like, I want to win this card. Well, I didn't win it. Actually, 8 o'clock rolled around last night, the night before. And I was I was on a Zoom call. So I forgot. And I went and looked back. And it ended at more than I wanted to pay anyway. So I did not win it. But thanks for checking in with me. Alec, card lover, Eric, what do you predict for the total amount sales tonight on the premiere? That's a fun question. Great question, okay. Card lover. What's your prediction, Erik?
Out the door, total with buyer premium. I'm looking about 12,870. So we're at 11,987.
12,870,000. That's your prediction.
Yeah, write it down, lock it up.
I'm writing that down. 12,870,000 is his prediction. We will check in at the end and see how close he came. Daniel Busby says, everyone like the video for Jeremy, please. Thank you, Daniel. Erik, what are your thoughts on Brady jersey patch autos?
Game used, I love them. People aren't aware, during the Patriots time, they only made 4 game used jerseys a year for the Patriots, and they just fixed them and mended them. I don't think people realize how rare Brady game used jerseys are. They're very rare. It's not like they did 16 a year throughout his career of the Patriots. Those are going to be some, especially game used with an autograph. His rookie stuff's just going to get to the moon, and people are going to fall back next. Not second or third year. I believe they're going to drop back and get game used patch autos for Brady. And they're already starting to go up. And there's no reason why they shouldn't.
No, there isn't. I mean, there's only so many. I just pulled up the dual chronology auto that David Owens mentioned earlier. This is it right here. And I'm going to take the comment off. Let's get more room for the card. There we go. Yeah, these are such cool cards. $19,000 right now for this one. Pop 1 of 2, none higher. BGS 9.5, surface 10, corners 9, 9.5, 9.5 on centering and edges. Those are great cards. I'd like to be able to see it, in portrait mode, or in landscape mode, I should say. Number 7 of 10, only 10 copies. What a beautiful card. David Owens, are you buying this one or are you selling it? Inquiring minds would like to know. All right, let's go back here. See if there's any bids that are coming in. Tiger Woods gets a bid. Is SP authentic? In case we have a Mahomes before that. There's Herbert. What a cool looking card that is. BGS 9 with a 10 auto. $80,000. Erik, 80 grand for Justin Herbert, Stars and Stripes. Numbered, it looks like it's out of 20. 80,000. How that seems high to me. Is that not high for these days for Justin Herbert?
I mean, it's a number to 20. People are starting to catch on for the Stars and Stripes. I think it's just right. I'm not saying it's high or it's low. I think that's just about right where it is. So for me personally, I like Herbert, not named Brady and Rodgers. Herbert is closing the gap on Mahomes. And I know people don't want to hear that, but his accuracy, his touch, the way he leads receivers, the way he processes at his young age, he is a true quarterback, like back in the pocket passer with a cannon. I mean, we saw him throw like 60, 65 yards in the air last week. I'm a huge Herbert believer. I would take him over Burrow, over anybody, out of the top 3 for sure, hands down.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. We have Sean in the house from Victory Investments. Good evening to you, sir. And this is the guy who wrote and performed the opening song for Sports Cards Live. So thank you for that again, Sean. Let's just do that. He says, good evening, Erik. This is for you, Erik. He says, I'm noticing on the Brady Contenders rookie ticket, there are a lot of them graded authentic with the auto graded. Why are there so many graded authentic? They can't all be altered.
No. I mean, they could have graded a 6 or a 7. Some people just would rather have authentic than a 7, and I don't always necessarily assume that it's altered just because it's authentic. Yeah, I've seen PMG greens of other cards in authentic holders, and then next thing you know, they get graded a 5 or 6, right? Whenever, so that's personal preference. Some people would just rather it be authentic than in a 7 holder. And I totally understand. It's absolutely personal preference.
For sure. Charles Fuchs wants to know if anyone's watching the Spider-Man PMG from 2013 Marvel Fleer Retro. Current bid $25K. Way to go!
Predict it.
And that's the red too. That's not even the green. That's the red out of 100. It's a lot of dough.
I prefer the red on that. I mean, I get it. The green's a green, but the red is color match, and it is so beautiful in person. So I would rather, me personally, I'd rather pay 45 grand for the red PSA 9 than 70 or 100 for the green. Just my opinion. Just because I'm a huge Marvel guy, right? And the green variant, I know it's a lot more expensive. It really tugs on no emotional strings for me.
Let's have a look at it. I just brought it up. Here it comes. There we go. There we go. Hold on. Let's do this. So there it is. Yeah, that is it's a really nice card. PSA 9. Number out of 100. Number 12 out of 100. It looks like $25,000 right now. Boy, oh boy, good luck. And congrats to the eventual winner of that. I'm curious to see what it ends up selling for tonight. Justin Bode says, out the door, baby. That's right. That's right.
42 plus. 42
Albert
plus.
Jones, as I was saying, I did not get the Ovechkin. I did win one card. I won a single card in the monthly auction just this past week. I'm going to go and let's see where I can find that. Items I won. Let's see. I'll show you guys what I won. I put in the bid. While we were live, and then I kind of forgot to check. And after I ended the show, just on Wednesday, I went and saw, I won the card. So here's what I won, you guys. Here is the card I won. I won that. I won the PSA 6 1966 Batman card with the black bat. And this card is absolutely stunning. It's a 6, but it looks like an 8. It's got the PWCC top 5% eye appeal designation, which I'm happy with. And I got Batman's rookie card. So that's my one win from the monthly auction in December.
They don't give that top 5%. Yeah, they don't give that to anything. They don't give that top 5% to anything. That's a monster card if it has that.
Yeah, it's a beauty, man. It's a beauty. Shannock wants to know, says Jeremy, non-rookie patch auto. So non-rookie patch auto, same set, same numbering, Crosby or Lemieux. Who holds more value? Oh, gosh. I would have said Crosby for a long time, but Lemieux cards seem to have really taken off recently. His auto patches have gone absolutely bonkers in the past 6 months or so. I'm going to say right now it's Lemieux. Crosby seems to be overshadowed a lot by Ovechkin and what Ovechkin's up to. But Crosby, when the books are closed on both those guys, it's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to or really willing to get into the Crosby or Ovechkin discussion. But I'll be happy to take part in the Crosby and Ovechkin discussion. I think they're both worthy of whatever status we want to impart upon them. Sean says, Erik, a buddy of mine is telling me some of these were small from the factory and won't meet min requirements. And that's very possible. I mean, that's very possible. You are welcome, Sean. Always a pleasure. Glad you're here, buddy. Glad you're here. Joe Perreault won his first Brady auto last night in the monthly, and the piggy bank is bare. Won't be going for the Curry Gold tonight. Well, congrats on your first Brady auto, Joe. Carlos says, Erik, in my opinion, hockey does the best job with on-card autos and game-used jersey cards. Do you think we will see more of that with Fanatics for NFL and NBA?
No, but I can hope. I can dream, but I don't know. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would go ahead and get your game-used on-card auto stuff now.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that for sure. Reminder to everybody, we are 6 minutes away from extended bidding. That's when the action really happens. We'll see how many auctions fall off the table after the first hour. Jordan Riker says, Erik, as an employee of PWCC, I'll just put that out there for you, Jordan. Are you allowed to bid on cards on PWCC's auctions?
No, I mean, so no, I can't. I don't even know if I'm not even approved to be a bidder on the Premier. Like, I don't even think that they approve employees to bid. I mean, so you have to be approved to bid. So I don't even think that I'm even approved to even place a bid.
So let's say you were approved. I mean, the question is, are you allowed to? It's not, are you approved? Are you allowed to bid on cards?
No, I can't directly. I cannot bid on monthly or Premier. I don't even think I can hit buy it now or best offer. I'm pretty sure that I can't do that either.
In the fixed price listing.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I believe you cannot. I believe you are not allowed to bid on any auctions on the PWCC platform. That's my understanding just from other discussions I've had. So okay, good stuff. Dennis loves his Batman. Great. Yeah, same here, Dennis. I can't wait to pull that one in hand. Birds on the back question. Another question for you, Erik. Since PWCC has started its independent Premier Auction, is there any card that stands out as really surprising you, either how much it went for or how little it went for?
Well, just recently, the 8 of 8 Kobe patch auto that I love that card that went last month in Premier that went for 288. That went
Yeah.
over 100K over my prediction, over what I thought personally. It was worth 170, 180, 190. Blew through that. Cards that have gone light. Oh yeah, there's probably 3 cards in every auction that I think are just insanely light. You know, like even
Look at
now,
the
look at now.
sorry. Look at we were talking about the Spider-Man, and now it's jumped from 20. Oh, another bid. It's doubled in this card, doubled in price in the last 2 minutes since we talked about it. That's pretty cool to see. Look at the Jordan PMG Red from 2008, I believe, $15,000, 55 on the Spider-Man. That's some serious coin for us. I believe. I'm surprised. This is what I thought the green would go for, just because it's so much more rare.
No, highest graded, man. Highest graded red. I think if you fast forward 3 years, I think the highest graded red will go for 50, 60, maybe even close to 70 cents on the dollar of a green. You know, the highest, not every red, just the highest graded, the PSA 9s, right? Versus a green. I think what we traditionally look at greens and reds way down here, I think with Spider-Man, because the color match, it's going to be a lot closer gap.
Do you think that the red could outsell the green? Like even like same grade? Is that ridiculous?
Well, grade for grade, I think the green would go for more like a PSA 9 green versus a PSA 9 red. You know, I think that, but I do think that a PSA 9 red would outsell a 6 or a 7 green. If I was bidding outside, not a PSA, not a PWCC employee, I would much rather just keep clicking the button for the red, highest graded red.
There's a Brady Superfractor 101 just hit 44,000. The Mahomes Prism, I'm not sure what that is called, but it's very colorful. 18,000 bucks. There's a Luca at $14,000. Game Time Gallery agrees that the Brady Contenders rookie ticket cards are not altered. PSA would label them as authentic altered if they were. Fair. Thank you, Jordan. I do love that Batman card. It's a cool find. I agree. Justin Bode says the auction just started. I mean, I think the auction's been going on for several days now, but the extended bidding, we are 2 minutes away. You can see that right up in here. In 2 minutes, we will go into extended bidding. And in extended bidding, it's so Erik, it's a 5-minute extension within extended bidding. So once in 2 minutes from now, guys, in 2 minutes from now, we enter extended bidding. The first 5 minutes, if any card doesn't get a bid in the first 5 minutes, that card ends, Erik, or does everything extend? How does it work in the first hour of extended?
No, it's just that it ends when everything ends. For Premier, right? For Premier.
So we're
right, for Premier.
Yeah, so right. So we're gonna have the first hour. We will see the people really kind of get ready for the next level, which will happen an hour later. So the first hour is going to be there's going to be some action, I think, but really we'll see how interested people are towards the end of that as they propel themselves into the next level of extended. We have Murphy Collections. Looking forward to another great night. Thank you for joining. Tim says he'd rather have a red than the green. Yeah, I mean, eye appeal is so important. So important when we're buying cards for our collections.
It's Spider-Man. I mean, it's Spider-Man. It's got to be red. I mean, don't get me wrong. For ROI, investment potential, purely the green. But man, if Erik was putting a card away in his PC, bro, the PSA 9 red just like I don't see why that card's not going to hit 80K tonight. You know, there's only 5.
Yeah. No, you make a good point. There's only 5 of them. It's only 5 of them. Well, let's have a look down what's going on here. So this is all the items, 252 total items in the auction, and I'm going to resort this by highest bid first. We are now entered into extended bidding. So Erik, explain this. It's showing 5 minutes on the clock. So that simply means that anytime a bid is placed on any item, the clock on every item extends into the next window. Is that right?
Yep. Just
okay.
As soon as if the bid's placed, it's going to reset.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have leading the way tonight. We have a 2018 National Treasures Luka Doncic rookie patch auto, PSA DNA, both card and autograph, have a 1099 copies. There are 4 of these that exist out of the 99, and it is currently at $650,000. What is that out the door, Eric? About 780, something like that?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. That's a lot of dough. That's why I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the amount. That is eye-popping, life-changing. That is real money. We're literally 3 or 4 bids away from 2 commas. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Next up, in second place at the moment, is the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron PSA 9. An amazing card, true history in this card. And nice to see it hitting $400,000. What's that? $480 out the door. When we say out the door, we are saying with the buyer's premium of 20% included in the price, because these prices here do not include that. The LeBron James 03 Exquisite Limited Logos BGS 95. This is a rookie year card. I mean, what a beautiful piece. $360,000. The autograph seems to be nice and bold and featured prominently on that white background. One of my favorite card designs and insert sets really of all time is this 03 Exquisite auto patch. I love these. $320,000 for this particular copy. It is another PSA 1010, 10 on the card, 10 on the auto. And look at the Michael Jordan. It's out the door. That's $360,000 out the door for a PSA 10 Michael Jordan. So that's a healthy price. Eric, you've obviously looked at, you're familiar with this particular copy. Is it especially nice, would you say?
I don't think it. I think it's just. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, there's no horrible PSA 10s, right? It's not going to. I don't think it's a silver or like our top 30. We would put a top 30% on there. I do think it's definitely a palatable, acceptable PSA 10. Let me zoom in and look at it better.
It seems like on the blue segment of the right border.
So let's go into that.
Side, little bit of snowflakey happening right here that could easily be keeping it from being a higher eye appeal designation. But other than that, it does look to be quite nice. The centering looks to be bang on. I mean, side to side, it looks bang on to me. Top to bottom, it may be off by a point on each side, but beautiful copy overall. Just this little bit right here, here.
So
that, might hold it back.
Yeah. So the indicative potential flaws with the 86 Fleer Jordan is the top right edge and bottom right. So the right edge, so you'd have the top right in the red and the blue and the bottom in the red. The right edge is always rougher than any other edge in the card, front or back. It's the front right is always rougher. In those areas, those are the normal areas. The top right corner always seems to have a little bit more touch than any other corner, front and back on the card. The centering on this card looks about as close to 50-50 as you can get left to right. Top to bottom looks like about a 60-40 split with the 60% being on the top. So the left to right centering is as good as you can expect. If it wasn't so top heavy, I think it'd be a 10. The only flaw I see with this, you're right, is the right edge. That's indicative of pretty much the first flaw with any Jordan, whether it be BGS, SGC, or a PSA. It's always the right edge. So if you see them out there with clean edges on the right, and the centering is even 45, 55, all the way around, that's going to get top 30%, top 15%. Those cards will probably tack on another $75,000 to $100,000 right off the bat. And that right edge is problematic. It's something that's the way they cut the card.
Yeah. That is what it is. Still a beauty. Let's see what's going on at the top here. Latest bids. There's the Hank Aaron. That's 40,000. What is that? That must be an 8. Joe Namath Pokemon box. 75 grand on the Brady Superfractor. Kyler Murray's got a bid at 38,000. All right, let's go to a couple of comments here. Jeremy says, I think color match parallel is more attractive than jersey match serial number. Jersey match. Jersey number, Matt. Yeah. Man, if you can get both, that'd be great. Oh, look at the Joe DiMaggio's coming in with some bids. He's got 2 cards in the set, one with the graffiti, one without. I like the one without. It's just a cleaner card. I have a copy of my PC and I love it. Namath and Mahomes getting bids. There's Giannis at $60K for his NT RPA. All right. Subs were 395s and a 10. Crazy. Thomas Newman, crazy. They give that a 10. Well, it's, they're not all 10s are that's the thing, right? 10 is not a perfect card, and that's just the way it is. You can go to the PSA website and they will tell you that as well. It says it right on there. Justin says, I'd say the Jordan 10 is fully priced at this bid considering the card, so you don't think it's going to go any higher. Any women's sports cards in this auction? Asks, love what you collect. I don't think there are. I don't recall seeing any. Do you know, Erik, if there are?
I haven't seen any. I mean, I could be wrong. Normally the prominent women's would be, Serena Williams and stuff like that. Maybe some Jackie Joyner-Kersee. I'm not sure if she has any out there that have come to auction lately, or other tennis players. But no, I haven't. Not that I've seen.
Yeah. All right. And Simon says to me, am I bidding on anything? I'm not bidding. I think I have a bid in on something. I do, but I don't know. I'm probably priced out. Well, why don't we go do that, guys? Why don't we take a look at the items that I have favorited? So I'm going to scroll down here. Here's my favorites. Let's see what interested myself in this and see what you guys think of these cards. So I have 20 items that made my favorite list. Yeah. I mean, I would love to own one of these Bowman Chrome Refractor Brady's. The BGS 9 to me seems like such a great deal potentially compared to the 9.5 or the PSA 9. PSA 9, BGS 9, 50 grand less. I'd buy this all day long over this copy, presuming that I assess them to be comparable to each other, but I'm not going to be bidding on either of them, and I'm not eligible anyway. We have the Michael Jordan PMG Green from 2008 in the BGS 9 up to $110,000. It's just a cool card. I don't know. He just looks like it's a miniature drawing of him or something in that particular card. There's the Brady that I am watching as well, the 95,000 on the Superfractor. Steph Curry, guys. Steph Curry. Have we permanently missed the boat on Steph Curry? I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope so, but I hope not. It's kind of goes in, I hope not because I don't have one. I hope so because that means that the hobby is doing well. So time will tell, but what a great card. And this is just an amazing looking Kobe Bryant card. This patch is nice and big. It seems to be from the name bar. 24 copies, $65,000. It's a BGS 8, but with a card like this, I'm more interested in the auto grade than the card grade. Here's another Tom Brady, the Downtown Gold Vinyl 101. I watched it. I'm interested to see what this card ends at. And of course, I love this Joe DiMaggio 38 Gaudy heads up, card number 250. What a pretty little card. And then we got a Giannis Immaculate Premium Gold RPA out of 10, $36,000. To me, that's a real nice. I prefer the looks of this to many other Panini brands as far as RPAs go. This is the one I bid on. I had bid on this Steph Curry in a BGS 9, as you can see there, and likely not going to be bidding again, unfortunately for me. 05, Erik. Here's an 05 exquisite LeBron James, limited logos, BGS 9, $32,000. Meanwhile, the card that is 1 year older was at like $360,000. So, rookie cards, we know rookie cards are what the hobby is all about and really built on, and that they're almost the foundation of the hobby. They're somewhat, it's the adoption of the term rookie card that vaulted the hobby really to where it went in the 80s. And is it, in your opinion, Erik, like you're getting an on-card autograph, whether it's the 03 or the 05 version, you're getting, and correct me if I'm wrong, are these game used patches?
Yes. Yes. Those are game used. Yeah.
On the 03 and the 05. So you're getting on card, you're getting game used patch, you're getting a beautiful card. You can save over $300,000 by buying his third year card over his first year card. And I'm not trying to make an argument that this card is any better than the rookie year card, but if you're looking for value, I see value in this because again, you're getting a lot of the same attributes that you get on the 03 version. It's just 2 years newer. Any commentary on that, Erik?
Yeah, I actually, so of course, the 03 limited logos is not only game used, but it's from a rookie jersey. So that's a huge value there. So it's from a rookie year game jersey. So that's a huge multiplier there, right? Me personally, I like the bookend years. I like 03 and then I like 09. That's the last year exquisite. But they look almost identical. They're very similar. The 09 is the rendition of the 03. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing against this exquisite here that we're looking at. But for the money value, if I'm not going 03, me personally, when I buy exquisite, I just fall all the way back to 09. I just love the look. The patches are just beautiful. It's just a little bit sharper card, but it still looks 03-ish. And you get a great, like you said, dollar return. Because if I'm not going to go rookie, well, then I'm just going to kind of open my mind and what is my eyes like? What are my heart like? You know, and for me, don't get me wrong, I hear a lot of people love 04, 05. People's hearts just like certain years, but for me, I like the bookends first and last.
Didn't mean to click that. Let's go back. Justin says it's true, but it's not his rookie. And that's really exactly what it comes down to, is it's not his rookie. I mean, when you just added that information, Erik, that the 03 rookie year does have a piece of his rookie jersey. I mean, that is very special. There's no doubt about that. But if you look at Justin's comment, it says, but it's not his rookie. Like, that's the only thing, is that it's not his rookie. And I get it. I'm a rookie card guy too. A rookie card, rookie year. That's what I love to have a lot of in my collection. So I get it. But I think there's value in a third year, nonetheless.
I think so. I go to price highest first when I look at them, right? And then I'm looking at cards that are under 15K or under 18K that are just steals. So to me, it's page 9. So let me see cards without the buyer premium. I'm looking at cards without the buyer premium, right? So,
well, listen, Erik, hang tight on that, because let's get through my favorite 20, and then we'll go from the bottom up. All right, let's do that.
Yep.
But first, let's look at this 97 Skybox Jambalaya. You know, if probably the most iconic insert card of the 90s. The thing about this one is that, notice right there, it's uncut. So this is not the oval shaped die cut that we are used to seeing. This is some sort of, whether it's a bankruptcy type of card, something like that. I don't know exactly, but you can see that it is not cut out. It is. So I don't know what the appeal, the price. It all surprises me, because this is personally, Erik. Personally, I don't want this card. I want cards pack pulled. That I like my cards to be pack pulled. And I have a couple box bottoms, hand cut box bottoms, and a few other hand cuts that I really like too. But generally, if a card was inserted into packs, that's the version of it that I personally want. So I would not be interested in this. But nonetheless, it is a hugely iconic card. It's still from the same print run as the originals. But the fact that it's at $23,000, I think it bodes well for the hobby and for this card. What are your thoughts when you see this particular uncut version selling for this kind of money?
Well, if you don't have the $35,000 or $40,000 it takes to buy one that's pack pulled, right? Because a 9.5, I currently think a 9.5 is worth between 105 and 115 for BGS 9.5. So I would put a 9 somewhere in the $35,000 to $45,000 range. So if you don't have that kind of coin to drop on a pack pulled 9, this is your next best option at this current price. Now, would I pay $40,000 for this? No, I just go ahead and buy a pack pulled 9. A PSA 10 valuation right now, I don't think you can buy a PSA 10 of that same card for under 165 or 170. I just don't see it happening. It's borderline 185 card. Those cards are going to dry up, and they're going to, I think, hit the moon in the next 18 months. They're just getting priced out there. So sometimes it's all you got. You start looking at the pop report, there's 14 PSA 10s. It's probably about the same Beckett 9.5s. There's just not a lot out there, and people aren't letting them go.
Erik, I don't know. Can you address this this comment here from Drew Tang NYC? He's accusing you of winning a PWCC item, and then goes on to say basically the employee policy is just fluff. Is this something that you can address?
No, I don't know. Like, I haven't bid or won anything, like anything at all.
Okay. Well, thank you for putting that to bed. Drew Tang, we're going to We're going to just block you because I don't take kindly to false accusations. Okay, let's keep on going then. Where Tom Newman says it's a 23K because someone's going to cut it out. I mean, you need a special knife to cut that out. That is for sure. Rich Frank says if it does not get packed out, miss me. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Rich. Dan, welcome to the show. Dan Silvershine, welcome. Great to see you, and thank you for that. Justin Bode says not pack pulled is a no-go. Not pack pulled is a no-go. Yeah, I mean, that's how I roll as well. So, okay. Let's go back to the main list here. Here we are. So the next row of cards that I watched. So Erik, I wanted to watch this this Lotus card, the Black Lotus Magic card, simply because I'm interested to see what it sells for. I understand this is the #1 card of all of Magic, and how much attention does PWCC get on the Pokemon and the Magic the Gathering stuff? Can you hear me?
We need to add a lot. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm digesting everything. We need to do a better job of getting a lot more of that stuff in there. I think Magic the Gathering, Pokemon is global. There's a lot of military soldiers that do that stuff. I currently live right outside a military base in South Korea. Those soldiers, they're really into that the trading card stuff. So I think the Black Lotus and a lot of high-end Pokemon, like we're looking at the Charizard, that stuff is just going, through the roof. And I don't see it slowing down. I can see it doing its ebbs and flows, but I think the 8s and a half and 9s are going to take, because once the 9, 5s, and 10s get parabolic, the other stuff's got nowhere to go but up. I wish I knew more about it, honestly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just thought it was neat. It caught my eye. It's so easy to just hit that star and put something on your favorite list. Soccer Cards tells us that is a Black Lotus, but not the alpha or beta set. So it's a bit of a secondary tier sort of Black Lotus. Thank you for that, Soccer Cards. We have a 2016 Flawless Vertical Kobe Bryant out of 8. I mean, I love this card, Erik. It's so nice. You full body shot on card auto, nice, unique 3-color patch, only 8 copies. I mean, what a beautiful card. Beautiful card. I'm just like hitting myself for not buying one of these, back in 2017 or so. And then we've got the High Voltage 500 Michael Jordan in a PSA 8. You guys sold one of these on the monthly auction as well. I forget I think it was the same grade, or maybe it was a BGS 8 or something like that. And it sold for around this amount of money. But for a PSA 8 insert from a very affordable product back in the day, there's really nothing like the High Voltage 500 Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan collectors who focus on the 90s inserts, this card is very high on their radar. And I won't be surprised if one of them, who I might even know, ends up showing this off on Instagram a few days from now. Would love to see that. All right, let's keep going. Oh, this card here, Erik. This is one of my worst stories in the hobby. I almost bought one of these for $1,500 from Andy at the Indie Card Exchange in 2019, and I just didn't pull the trigger, and I walked away, and now it's at 20 grand, and I still have my $1,500. But yeah, I know, man. That's one where you just got to slap yourself. But hey, if we knew then what we know now. But next up is the Metal Universe Platinum Portraits, one of my favorite cards. I'm a fortunate owner of one of the PSA 10s. Love this card. BGS 9.5, 18,000. Does seem low to me considering the PSA 10 sold recently for 50, I believe it was 50,000. I forget if that was last month. I forget if that was pre-buyer's premium or after. But what a great card. Curious to see what this one goes for. And then we have a Mantle rookie, 51 Bowman, PSA 3 with the above average eye appeal rating for 16,000. So these are the cards. And then the last two here that I was interested to watch. We have another Kobe auto patch. This one from Exquisite. Just a beautiful card, 16,000. Would love to own it. And then Tyler Hero. I actually think the guy's a good basketball player. I think he's decent at his trade. And I wanted to see what this would end at. It's a 1-of-1 gold vinyl. at 8,000. So there's 252 cards in this auction, everybody. And if you were tasked to pick 20, I'd be curious. We'd all come up with a different 20 that we wanted to watch or that we were curious about, most interested in. I'm sure we'd all have a different combination or a different set of 20. But when I went through, I just went through once. I didn't put that much thought into it. I just hit click, 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 the ones I liked. And at the end, it happened to be exactly 20. With that said, we're going to scroll to the top. We'll watch the bids come in here. I'm going to go to some comments, Eric. Then we'll go and we'll sort by lowest price and see where the deals are right now. We still have just over 35 minutes to go in the first round of extended bidding. The real action will start when that ends in 35 minutes or so. So let's go to the comments here. Jordan says, I haven't seen much wax. Is that a coincidence, or is the focus primarily to list single cards? I mean, I think I can answer this. I would say that the ratio of single cards to unopened is pretty much the same as you'd see on any other auction platform or site. Eric, any color to add to that?
No, it's just a lot of people don't want to auction off a lot of wax. They're comfortable with just selling it at shows or sitting on it. Honestly, wax gets sit on a lot more than people think about. Like, there's a lot of people that just sit on wax because every player's in that box or in that case. It's not just one or two players. Every player's in there. Especially you look at F1, UFC, a lot of that stuff's just getting stuck away. There's no need, especially inaugural years, there's no need to sell a lot of that stuff. And when the wax goes for sale, it's traditionally, 3, 5, 7 years later. So just on sheer statistical numbers, there's going to be less of it available. And a lot of those people they already have breakers to liquidate that stuff too at any minute. A good breaker will cash out that stuff. We have a hard time getting good quality wax in, and we really go out of our way to try to get that stuff in.
Awesome. Matthew Jones, love listening to you guys during the auction. Learned so much. Thank you. Thank you, Matt Jones. Really appreciate that. DR, what do you guys think of the possibility of Topps launching a nationwide card store modeled off of the Disney format store? I think they're going out there and opening one store in Cooperstown, partnering up with Dave and Adams, as was announced on this show last week. And I mean, is that going to grow? That's a great potential comment there, DR. Perhaps they will model off the Disney store format. I don't know. It really depends if they're making cards or not past the next few years. So let's see what happens with that. Jordan Riker, Eric, why did you move to South Korea? We're just fun question, Jordan, but we're going to keep it to the cards right now. Joe Pro, is PWCC approved buyers in Asian countries at this point, Eric?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. Now, we don't approve VPNs, right? So it's going to be next to impossible to log on and bid via VPN. And we don't do that against the Asian community or just other countries. It's just so that way people can't have multiple accounts and bid from their own home, and then maybe their phone's on a VPN to where they can bid on their own stuff. So we just block VPNs pretty much in general, unless it's for a specific reason.
Well, Bless and Break says that Howley Hustle is the GOAT, and Eric is also known as Howley Hustle on Instagram. So Eric is the GOAT. DJ's Gaming, guys, what if a card is a pull from Upper Deck or Panini Black Box? Would that be considered a pack pull? That's one of those outliers. That's one of those potential exceptions. I mean, like, I have some precious metal gem employee cards that Upper Deck issues to employees. To me, those have a complete legitimate place in my personal collection. So there are exceptions to that rule, but those cards were not also placed into packs that were then, widely available. So they fit more into that, box bottom category for myself. Would it be considered a pack pull? I don't know. Maybe. What do you think, Eric? Is a Panini Black Box card considered a pack pull?
I think at this point, I would say no, but the jury's still out on that. I think you fast forward a few years, and if it becomes more of a commonplace, I think 5 to 10 years, we might look in retrospect and say yes. It's almost like Topps now. I would say no at this point, but the jury's still out because it's such a new thing.
Yeah, for sure. John Campbell says it's brutal to watch the high-end cards go to the moon and the mid and low end and modern getting pummeled this year. I don't know if I hear what you're saying, John, but the mid to low end modern getting pummeled. I mean, low end should get pummeled. Low end is pummel is ripe for the pummel. I mean, it's low end for a reason. So I don't know. I mean, I get it, but yeah, if it's it can be tough if that's what you're holding for sure. Erik, any comment on that?
Yeah, so I think it's a double-edged sword because the low-end stuff, when the market goes parabolic, it 5, 10s, 15x's, right? The modern stuff doesn't. It might go up 2, 2.5, 3x. Whereas the low-end stuff, the thing is, with extreme volatility comes extreme volatility, right? You can't just want the top end and not want the bottom end. If you're okay with stuff going 10 or 15x, then you got to take the opportunity when the market goes bear. It goes really bare. It's just nature of the industry, really.
Tom Newman says the Brady at 12 corrects himself. The Brady at 120. I think he's referring to this SP Authentic PSA 10 with the NBA. Looks to be the gold sticker. Yeah, the gold diamond sticker. 120 grand for this SP Authentic card. Another one we all could have had way back for 4 digits. Haas Bonaventure. Tyler Harrows, the youngest to ever start in an NBA Finals game. Not a bad choice. Well, thank you, Haas. Appreciate that. Justin says Harrow's a good basketball player, but so is the glove Gary Payton. Yeah, but no one's ever saying Gary Payton wasn't. That's for sure. Steve Sir in the house. Good evening, Steve. Andrew Mark says, I'm banking on a wax box of Metal Universe Champions paying off in 5 years. Good luck. Good luck. Dave's cards in the house. He's watching the Spider-Man card, and the timer keeps resetting. Any idea what's up? Yes. Dave's cards. We are anytime any card in the auction gets a bid for the first hour of extended bidding, this clock will reset. So come 30 minutes from now, when the first level of extended bidding is over, that will then be down to a 5-minute window. And at the end of each 5-minute window, actually, how does it work, Erik? Remind me. I have it right here. I get confused between the monthly and the premier. So it's going to go to 5-minute extension. So, and if there is no bid for 5 minutes on any card, the whole auction will end. It's after 8:30 p.m. Pacific, when we're in the 1 minute level, where you're going to see this thing kind of wrap up pretty quick.
Yeah, the bids start flying in fast, but then they slow down really quick, and then this stops.
Yeah, for sure. Jeremy from Collectors League says, any thoughts on uncut sheets? My thoughts are they're just too darn big. So and that said, I have 2 of them hanging in my rec room. 2 uncut sheets of Upper Decks, the Cup, the rookie patches from that year. No patches, of course. And if anyone wants them, they're for sale because they're just too big for me. They're too big for I'd rather put something else up. So I'm not a big fan of uncut sheets personally. How about you, Erik?
I move around a lot. I've lived in 8 states, multiple countries, multiple continents. I travel a lot. Nope. And that's why I love comics. I'd love to have a Spidey 1. I'd love to have, it's just the overall size, especially with sheets. I can't, and I love them. I would love to have some 84 football, 86 football, maybe a Gretzky sheet, OPG, if available. I'd love to have that stuff, but yeah, it's just too laborious to lumber that stuff around.
Yeah, that's just it, right? They are big, and if you want to frame them, that's going to cost you $400 or $500 just to frame them nicely. So, you got to consider that as well. James Manna says, no love for Curry in your top 20. James, I had a Curry in my top 20. I don't know how you missed it. It was his Topps Chrome Refractor, the BGS. I think I had the PSA 9 and the BGS 9 in my top 20. You must have missed that. And Kevin Walsh has so many good cards still at cheap bids right now. So in a minute, we'll go down we'll sort by the lowest bid. If you have the wall space, says Game Time Gallery, framed uncut sheets are super cool, in my opinion. So that's the thing. I have 2 of them right now hanging up, and you have to go up really close to see what they are. To me, you have to stand at the wall and look at them. What's cool is when people come over, which doesn't happen very much in 2020, 2021, but and they want to go have that look, and you can go stand there and say, yeah, look, that's this guy's rookie or that guy's rookie, or that's this card or that card, whatever it is. So yeah, I thought they were like that too. And now I'm done with them for myself. I'm done for me.
Some people love them.
With Batman 18, James, no problem. 181. All right, let's do that then, Eric. Let's go and sort these cards by, let's just stop here for a second. Let's see what we have. We have the SP Authentic Peyton Manning, BGS 10 at 19 grand. One of my favorite Brady's, the Essential Credentials, BGS 9 hits $27,000 right now. It looks like the Magic Limited logo, Kobe Limited logo has a bid. I said Magic's $180,000. That is a crazy card. These numbers are just mind-boggling at times, although we should be getting used to it by now. But look at that. 03 exquisite limited logos, Kobe Bryant. It's at $180,000. Wow.
It's 216 out the 216 out the door, man. That's a ton of money.
That's a ton. What a great card, though. Okay, let's go back here. Couple of bids have come in since. A box of mega cracks where you can find the Messi and the Ronaldo rookie. There's a Curry BGS 10 black label. I don't know if that's a rookie year or not, but probably is at $38,000. Okay, let's do this. Price lowest first.
Man, that's a lot of money for that limited logo. Good for him. That's an amazing patch. Yeah, that patch it's probably one of the very nicest patches you're going to find on a limited logo, Kobe.
Yeah, it is an amazing patch for sure. Okay, so the Premier Auction, I think the idea is that the cards are going to be worth around $20,000. So when you see some that aren't, that's where you may be able to find some deals. And we're starting at the bottom here. A Finite Spectrum, Uncommon Valor, Barry Sanders 101 from 1998 is at a paltry $4,000. Why is that so low, Eric, for a one-of-one Barry Sanders? I mean, perhaps, among some, the most collectible football player of all time.
I don't know. I mean, I probably value that card at 12 to 14,000. Like if somebody had called me, a few months ago and said, Eric, would you want to buy this? Whatever. That's kind of what I value it at. I think it's really low, but and it's not just the Sanders. So if you go just slightly above that, there's some cards in here on if you go just below 13K, so scroll up just a little bit above that one. The 03 exquisite Magic Johnson numbered pieces, that's 03. That's an iconic year. It's not a horrible grade. It's an 8. That's about what they average. It's an 8, and I believe it's got a 10 auto. I could be wrong, but 8,400 out the door. You're talking 7,000 before buyer premium. Those numbered pieces are beautiful. Like I just thought that was 12 to 15, 16K. I mean, I follow a lot of patch autos.
I think for me, the problem with this card is there's no yellow in the patch. And it's almost, it kind of fools you a little bit with it. If you can see this little bit of yellow right here, It's almost gives you that effect that there's yellow in that area, which there is here, but there's no yellow in the patch itself. So you do have the stitching coming through, which is cool. But to me, that's kind of what would, bother me, that you're going to buy such an important card and you're not going to get that third color, because the yellow really does brighten up a patch like that. But I still hear what you're saying. It's still a great card. The surface is a 7.5. Everything else is 8.5 or higher. So it's not,
those cards just don't come up.
It's a bit of a harsh grade, perhaps even.
03, any player numbered pieces just don't come up very often. That one, and then for me, if you scroll up a little bit higher, let me see. There's a 2006 Ultimate Collections Kobe PSA 10 Pop 1. That one right there. Yeah, that card, I know some of the owners own that card. Like that card's, I know for a fact it's sold multiple times in the 14 to 16,000 or higher range. It's a Pop 1. The auto, it runs over some of the stamping, so the auto's probably a 9, complete honesty, if you zoom in and look at the auto and the K. But it's a Pop 1, number 75, PSA 10, SP Authentic game use. Those just don't come up. Like that card was, before he died, that was $4 or $5 grand, or soon after. That card is just so if you see on the case, just a little bit, so it's probably a 9 auto, just complete transparency there. But that one is just, it's a Pop 1. Those cards raw sell for $5,000, ungraded.
It's a beauty. It's overall a beauty. And that little bit of the auto doesn't bother me that much. There are things that bother me a lot more. Like if the auto, sometimes the blue gets really dark blue or it just fades altogether. It's not optimal, but it's not a deal breaker for me. And I would definitely buy this, if I could get a discount on it because of that, I think that would be a good buy. So back again, we're talking about the lower end cards in the auction. I had scrolled past a bunch, but let's start at the top again and just see what we had. There's a Pokemon. There's a Joe Burrow. Zion. I'm not surprised to see him near the bottom right now. LaMelo, Tiger Stripe, PSA 10, $7,000. Dual auto, Zion and Jaw. Again, not surprised to see these. I'm actually surprised to see it even get $8,000, but I don't know much about that card. SP Game Used triple jersey, it looks like, of LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan out of 15. It's a pretty cool card. Really cool card. There's my my Tyler Hero that I was watching down near the bottom. An MJ. We have a Hardcourt Wood, 1 out of 25. Beach. It's a pop one, $8,000. That must be a sticker auto. Otherwise, I think that'd be a lot more expensive. There's a Japanese Pokemon card at $8,000. We got a Kobe Material Ink, 1 of 1 at $9,000. How about the Roger Clemens Topps Tiffany PSA 10? That's a awesome card. I love it. I love Tiffany cards. Very cool. What's this? Some sort of Babe Ruth Brother Candy from 1921. It's a small card and an SGC holder at $9,000. We've got a LeBron. That's a nice card right there. That's a nice Jordan auto. These two are the same card, just different parallels from 2007. This one's out of 25. This one's out of 15, and they are both at $9,000. I wonder if someone will pick up those as a pair, Eric. Do you find that happens often with cards at PWCC auctions, that people will kind of, buy one and maybe kind of, it's like in retail, you always want to increase that basket size. You want to have more items in the basket. You want to get people to spend more money. Do you find that people kind of get, and I know just as a bidder, I'm sure people can agree, sometimes you get carried away. You bid on one card. Oh, what's another couple $100? Bid on another card. Oh, what's another couple hundred? And in this case, what's another few grand? What's another few grand? It just depends on your financial situation. But what do you think the chances are that one person is going to buy these two LeBrons on either side of the MJ auto, because they are parallel of each other?
I say probably pretty high. My honest opinion. I like to do sets myself, right? That's just kind of what I do. If they call it a rainbow or whatever you want to call it. I predominantly like to do that myself. So I would assume that other people would probably follow suit. Especially, well, if they're on the same auction, yeah, they're right there. I mean, they're right there.
They're right there. How do you not grab both of those, right? Unless you already have one, you don't need the other one again. But continuing on the cards at 10,000 or under, we have a Trae Young. We've got a Tiger Stripe LeBron from this past year of Prism, 1 of 3. The infamous Kobe Tribute Dunk. That Jordan PMG from 2008, the picture of him reminds me of the picture of LeBron on this one here. And then we've got the Autographics MJ. I'm sure this is a card that the hardcore basketball guys like Adam Gray would tell me that this is a very important and special card, yet doesn't do much for me aesthetics-wise. But I'm sure that the MJ auto collectors are chasing this one pretty good. $10,000 for that. Here's a Kobe auto, pop 1 of 4, PSA 10 at $10,000. The 98 Hoops Bams Kobe Bryant out of 250 at $10,000. And then an MJ, looks like it's a bit of the floor. Game floor buyback, patch auto out of 8. Well, floor patch, $11,000. So that's the first page of the lowest price cards in the auction so far. Let's go to page 2. We'll scroll through this a little bit quicker. If anybody wants us to hold on a card, just put something in the chat. Eric, same to you if there's something you want to stop and talk about.
There's a Contenders PSA 1010. That's a few thousand under market, probably 5,000 or 6,000 under market. Kobe, the Giannis Silver. I just think Giannis is.
What's it at? What's it at?
It's at 10,000. So the Kobe.
Oh, I passed.
Is at 10,000. Yeah, and that one, Giannis Silver. Yeah, Giannis is just and in my opinion, he's top 3 or 4 in MVP. Of course, I value Joker #1 just because of what he's doing. But those cards they're just hard to find. And that one's a silver Mike Baker diamond. That's just an amazing card, for the price point we're getting into it at. I just think that's just a savage card, compared to what its high was at around $20K.
Yeah, I see. I am without a Giannis or a Curry card of any sort in my collection. Never mind a rookie, and I'd love to add a Giannis and a Curry, but they're just so expensive now. It's I don't know what it'll take for me to get one, but hopefully one day, hopefully one day. So continuing on the lower end of the auction, there's a Tatum. I like Tatum's game quite a bit actually. Out of 10, 11 grand. Here's a Wilt from 73. That's a cool card. We have a Kaboom, a Zion Kaboom. Keeping on going. I'll just kind of run through these now, guys, just to see if anything really jumps out. Here's the 02 Finest Refractor LeBron at a 250. Wearing his suit. I like that card. Oh, that's a great looking. These are two great looking cards right here, in my opinion. I love both of these Kobe's.
I like the 81. The 81 point game.
This here.
Those are hard to find. Yeah.
I just don't like the color of the auto. It looks to be black. I'd prefer it to be blue. You know, that's blue is just so much nicer than black as far as autos go. For me, at least, there's a beauty Kobe blue auto. See, silver's okay too when it's on black, even on a 1. Why is this so cheap? Is it the PSA 7 holding it back on a 1/1 Kobe auto? Or is it the black brand? What is it, Erik?
I think it's the black brand, honestly, and the 7. But so it kind of boils down to do you want the authentic or do you want the PSA 7? I kind of prefer to have the numerical grade on there, but some people just would rather have it at authentic. The black, that might keep it back a little bit, but I think the flawless patch auto just right over is an amazing card.
Amazing. I love it too. I definitely love that card. Let's see what's going on at the top of the screen. We still have about 15 minutes in this first level of extended bidding, and then we will get in, and then things should speed up. Should speed up a little. Let's go to some comments here. Steve Sir got his PSA submission back from February. Congratulations. His Ovechkin PMG from 2014 graded a near mint 8 and is a pop 1. That's awesome. And his Crosby Young Gun graded a 10 with pretty low pop on that one as well. Congrats to you on that. Shannock says, what do you think about manufactured patches? Clearly they aren't near the value of authentic, but would you automatically pass on them? That's a great question. What do you think about manufactured patches? I'll take it first, Erik. While you're monitoring the back end of the auction, I have a couple thoughts on this, on manufactured patches. I'm going to give you the pro and the con for me. The con is obvious. The con is that, there's nothing about them that gets you closer to the game, right? They are simply manufactured by the card company in most cases. So that's the con. But the pro isn't really a pro. It's really more of a, why is the con such a con? And let me explain that. So what I mean is, you take any card, any single card, you've got 8¼ square inches of real estate to design. So whether you put on there, I don't know, whether you have a picture of the crowd from the stadium or wherever, or you have grass from the baseball field, or you have a manufactured patch, it's just another, to me, it's a design element. That's all it is. It's a design element, and it's no better or worse than some other design element, like a big foil stamp of a logo or a border or whatever they may do. It's a design element that, as long as it is not attempting to trick me, I have no issue with it, and I will collect them if I like them, but I'm not collecting them because I feel like it's getting me closer to the game, or I feel like I have a piece of game-worn material. So if I have to pick one over the other, I'm definitely picking the game-worn, but I do not. To me, I see a lot of comments all the time saying they should get rid of manufactured patches. Now, I think there needs to be a distinction here between a manufactured patch and a off-the-rack jersey card that's been cut up and put into cards, and either called player worn, event worn, or non-worn at all, literally just a jersey that was cut up and put into cards. And that, to me, seems like it might be a little closer to almost trying to fool you, versus a manufactured patch, which to me is something that doesn't come from a jersey that the players might otherwise wear. It's literally a design element. So if you are asking if this question is about, how do you feel about event worn versus game worn, or player worn versus game worn, or again, off the rack cut up versus game worn, I kind of have a different response to each of those. I think that's clear as I'm trying to articulate all of this. So I hope that was somewhat clear. Not too sure it was, but again, there are cards that have these proprietary designs on them, patches made out of these proprietary designs put into cards. To me, that doesn't offend me. It's a design element. But again, if a company is putting in a jersey piece or a patch piece from a jersey, and then all it says is this jersey piece has no affiliation with the player, then I'm like, well, but it looks like it could, so you might trick me, but I'm smart enough to look at the back, so I'm going to catch it. But at that point, maybe I'd prefer a truly manufactured patch that has some sort of interesting design aside from what would otherwise look like a game-worn patch. Wow. Sorry about that ramble, guys. Erik, can you be more succinctly share your thoughts?
And it's pretty simple for me. It's either game used or it's not.
Yeah,
and
that's very
I mean,
succinct.
I agree with you 100%. It's either just a design element or it's game used.
Yeah.
And the rest just kind of falls in place. And I'm a minority. Almost nobody's going to agree with me. I totally understand that, and that's okay. But that's just for me, for when I buy stuff for myself as a collector.
This takes me back to the beginning of the RPA, really back in the 03, 04, 05 years, especially when the Cup came out in hockey. And I remember thinking to myself, well, these patches, like in hockey, the first year, the Crosby and the Ovechkin and one other player were game worn. Everyone else wasn't. And I thought to myself, I'm going to wait for the second year and I'm going to buy limited logos or something from year 2 where they have actual game worn jerseys. And those should be worth more down the road because they're game worn. But the hobby is more mysticized by rookie card than they are by game worn, at least up until now. Will that change down the road? I don't know. Maybe. It should. That's where you can be savvy if you really want to try and get ahead of something. But I think a lot of people are catching on to that already and saying, like you said, it's game worn or it isn't. And you can't really dispute that comment. Now,
well, if it was a lot cheaper, if we weren't in these 5 and 6-figure prices and higher, I get it. But man, when they go parabolic, what do you do, right? I kind of look at it I'd rather just buy a lower grade game worn or just a different card. To me, I would rather have an on-card auto with no patch at all or game worn. That's it. Like there's kind of no middle ground because I can get an amazing on-card, no, event worn photo shoot. Right? I can get a real amazing one. If you just remove the photo shoot patch and just on card, then your limits can go to the roof, but that's
right.
just me. And everybody's different.
No, I'm not different than that. I completely agree with that, Erik. I would be the same way. I'd rather just have but then again, look at national treasures, like even this Luka and all that, right? Like, would you rather just that? Think about the Steph Curry. Steph Curry has, I think, is it an exquisite auto, but he doesn't have an exquisite RPA. No, not exquisite.
Well, but some of those you have to look at, there are no Luka game worns. Right. So like you don't have a choice at that point. It's just if you want an RPA, you don't have a choice. Like the Luka, it's at $780,000. They don't make that card in a game worn. So that's your apex. That's your alpha. So if you want the alpha, there is no option for the same card game worn. So that's where the chips get pushed in at. The same thing with Steph. You want his national treasures? Well, that's his big boy baller card. So if that's what you want, his alpha card, then it is what it is, and you got to push the chips in on that, But if they made them 2 yet for rookie, then I would go game worn over non. But then that's why you see these Lukas going through the moon. That's why you see the Stephs going through the moon. There's no competing alternative that's game worn, so they just take that, and I'm okay with that. Like at that point, like you're after the best long-term investment.
There's a Steph Curry card. I don't know if it's a flawless or what it is, where it's just an auto. It's a rookie or auto. I thought it was exquisite, but does that make any sense? Does he have any exquisite cards from his rookie year? No, I don't think he can.
I don't think so.
I
know he's got Absolute and a couple other brands. Colossal did one. But I don't think any of his cards, his rookie cards, are game used. And so I know there's on card versus sticker.
No, I'm talking, yeah. And I'm just talking about a card that would it's the card I'm thinking of. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could think about what brand it was, but it looks like a card that otherwise other players in it would have patches, but his doesn't. It's got an autograph. So my point was, like, would you rather have the Luca NTRPA with that nice big non-game worn patch on it, or would you rather that NT National Treasures did not have a patch at all, just had more white background and his auto was on there? I don't know my answer to that. I mean, that design element looks pretty nice.
Here's a good, all right, so this is a great topic for this, right? And these cards are something that are both come up pretty often. You have the his gold, right? Refractor, right? Number to 50. A PSA 10 of that is $1 million plus for Curry, right? That's just, there's no autograph, there's no patch, but it's $1 million card, right? Now you have that for $1 million plus, or what about his National Treasures? Very few of those are over $1 million. The market is kind of, they're still weighing those options, which is really important, because you look at his gold refractor, a 9.5 mini gem sold for over $500,000. Mini gem, no auto, no patch. The National Treasures, a 9 in that card is still going to be 300,000 or 400,000. 9.5, 5, 6, 700,000. So the market's they're still deciding on that. It's nice to watch that evolve.
There was Joe Namath getting a bid, the BGS 8.5 or BVG at 20,000. Okay, we're going to go to some comments here. Ped's Card Collection, what is up with you? Welcome to the show. Baseball Card Curmudgeon, great to see you. Ed Seat says, I would rather have a card with just an auto than a manufactured patch on it. Jeff Hart, good evening to you. Super Bad says the NT is no longer game worn, and unfortunately it's expensive. Shane DeVos, why don't the MJ rookie autos get much respect price-wise? He doesn't have any rookie autos, MJ. Let's keep going. Joshua Sherber says, I like working on smaller sets. Also love the 2016 Donruss Soccer set. I have 4 of the 5 Cristiano Ronaldos. Very nice. Congratulations to you, Joshua. Super Bad collectors just love the multiple patch. They do love the patches. Curry has a National Treasure RPA. The Exquisite. That's it. Thank you, Superbad. It's an Exquisite and it's a collegiate auto rookie. Okay. Appreciate that clarification. Haas Bonaventure says, rookie is an overrated attribute. Most players play like rookies their rookie season. They're champs, MVP in other season. That's an interesting take. It's an interesting take. Ryan says, not going to throw it in here, but check your DMs. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Curry does have an exquisite rookie. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who let me know about that. Big, bold blue auto. Yes, he does. So I'd go after that, but I'd prefer him in a Warriors uniform for my own collection. 12 years ago, the Curry Topps Gold Refractor was $1,000. Oh, my goodness. And look at that Kobe National Treasures limited logo. Oh, sorry, exquisite limited logos up to $240,000. We are about 5 minutes away from the next level of extended bidding.
Now, can I bring up one card real quick?
Yeah, which one is it? I'll go find it.
Kobe Bryant Logoman. It's no autograph, but game used Logoman. National Treasures. It's at $75K before buyer premium.
Am I missing it here? Where is it? It's lots of Kobe.
It's the Logoman.
How much is it at, Eric? I'll go find it that way.
75,000. Yeah.
All right, let's go find Eric's Kobe Bryant logo man for $75,000. It's going to be on to page 2, it looks like. Let's go find it for you, Eric. $75,000. There it is. This guy right here.
So that's a game used logo man right there on that card. Number 2. Now, if you had that same card autographed, $250,000 card easy all day. Same grade, everything. You just tack an auto on it, $250,000 card, right? Those cards, the logo man's, Kobe's, are going to be great because that's a game. So that one, if you look at the reverse of the image of the card, that's a game used logo man, right? I think that stuff over time is really going to be great investments. If you don't have $250,000 or $300,000 to get the same card with an autograph, You get the game used, you get the best part of the jersey, and it, you get checks a lot of boxes. Those cards, I know privately sell for in the six figures. I know that for a fact. I've tried to buy a bunch myself. You just can't find them for under six figures. People just don't want to sell them. Unless it's one year they made a set number to 8. So there's 8 Logomans that I think the last year they made them. Other than that one print run, all these number to 2 and 3, they're very expensive, and they're in deep pocket collections.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you could do is you could go buy a nice cheap Kobe sticker auto, take the sticker off, and just affix it to this one, or maybe put it on the outside. Put it on the Beckett slab itself on top of his shorts there, right here. Take it off, put it right there. Now you've got yourself a nice autographed slabbed Logo Man 2/2. I kid.
So
of course, I'm kidding. Of course,
I'll bring
I'm
up one
kidding.
thing.
Here, Chris Wong says, "Why do we think LeBron's prices are as low as they are at the moment?" This comment makes me think that, Chris Wong, you're new to the hobby this year, and I only say that because LeBron prices are super high from where they were 2 years ago. So I kind of look at it that way. Like, I know I bought one of my LeBron cards for like $1,100 a few years ago. Now it's worth 10 to 15,000. So to me, the question is, why do we think they're as high as they are at the moment? So I have trouble with this question, but Erik, maybe you want to take a stab at it.
Well, I mean, it's volatility, right? Their team, 5, 6 Hall of Famers, were supposed to be the number 1 seed, so there's a little pullback. The Warriors are doing much better than anticipated. We don't perceive them to be in the finals. People are liquidating and moving to a lot to Curry and Brady. I don't think it's a knock on LeBron. I mean, he's putting up great numbers. I just think that there's a lot of hype on Curry right now. And so, and let's be fair, LeBron's had his 18 years in the sun. It's not like, he hasn't had almost 2 decades of love. Rarely do you see LeBron pullbacks. I think that's just the problem, is over almost 20 years. It's just hard to imagine his stuff pulling back, So when it happens, people are like, oh, what's going on? It's just the natural progression of the market and players.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a comment here. Kevin Walsh says, buy, and he says buy as in BUY, buy the recent dip on LeBron, in my opinion. So, like LeBron, if you're playing the LeBron game with a short horizon, that's not the way to play it. He's a long-term hold, LeBron James. He's an all-time great. So, and I'm more, my whole approach to the hobby is one of long-term. So I have trouble. That's why I can't really answer the question, or I see it differently, because with my time horizon, LeBron is doing just fine. He's doing very well. And you're going to have these fluctuations from week to week and game to game, and season to off season. But for me, it's not how I approach things. So if you're someone who is kind of more in that quick flip game, then I can understand the question. If you're looking for a long-term hold on one of the all-time greats, then I would advise you to not worry about the short-term fluctuations and realize that at the end of the day, he's going to go down as a top 5 player of all time, and that's should be good enough for most people's collections, I think.
He's got the highest market cap of any player, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure his market cap for the total value of all his cards is far supersedes Jordan. Right. So it's not like he doesn't have the highest market cap ever, and he's not the number 1 player. But I just want to throw in there, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty certain the Hank Aaron rookie just set an all-time high at 528 out the door. I'm not sure that we've had a $500,000 Hank Aaron sell before. So I think the high before was 480, 490. I'd have to go to previous sales, maybe check Card Ladder, and see, and to verify that. But I'm pretty certain. So if somebody's listening, they want to fact check me, they can do that. Yeah.
440 right now, plus 88,000
on
the
528.
528. It's a big number. It's a big number. All right. Let's see some more comments here from the crowd. Super Bad says LeBron will not crash. David Schumann says forget LeBron. Erik is the GOAT. Joe R., good evening to you. Happy to have you watching. Any Elway rookie 10s up for auction? Not in the Premier this month. Boston Authentic says when LeBron breaks Kareem's record next year, everyone will wish they had his cards. Yeah, Think about that, right? That ties right into to Kevin's comment to buy the recent dip. I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. And Joe gives you a great reason. Boston Authentic gives us a great reason why. Super Bad says LeBron will not crash, but Luka is a risky gamble at this time. Anybody 25 years old or younger, I think, has risk associated with them in the card world. It's just the way it goes. Gem Mint cards need some Dirk rookies. All right.
Oh, that's a good player right there.
Dirk, a good player for sure. The MJ still at 300. So Erik, it's always interesting to see like which of these big cards are going to get bids in the last few minutes of the auction. We are now into the 5-minute window, meaning that if there are no bids at all in any 5-minute period, the whole auction will end. Now, I don't anticipate that that's going to happen for the next half hour, but after this next half hour, we get into the is it the 1 or the 2-minute window? And that's going to be, let's see, 5 minutes. Okay, we are actually
we're in the 2-minute window now.
We're in the 2-minute. My bad. We're in the My bad, super bad. We're in the 2-minute window right now. So if there is no bid for any 2-minute period of time, the whole auction will end. So people need to bid. They need to bid if they want to win these items. And as we can see from watching the top of the platform here, bids are coming in. Oh, let's talk about this card right here, Erik. I'm going to just close all these other windows and let's talk because we've been asked about it and I haven't addressed it yet. The 03 Exquisite Dwayne Wade RPA. And let's go back and see who was asking about this card. I'm going to find you. Here we go. Blinding 90s. Thoughts on the Wade Exquisite RPA potential. Erik, I'll let you speak to this.
All right, so I'll try to make it really quick. And now I'll preface it saying I could be 100% wrong on this one. So this is one of the ones I'm not going to say. It's not like, hey, the Erik's pick, right? Because normally I'm really good on those. If you look at the ratio of what Wade sells versus LeBron and what they've accomplished and how iconic they are to the player, it shouldn't be a 15 to 20x multiplier. I comprehend 10x. I get that. But you look at this as what's the grade on that card? That card is a
7.
7. So that card in a LeBron would probably be about $750,000, $700,000. So I do think now it is coming up because that card you could have bought a few months ago for $30,000, $35,000. I personally think it's probably going to peak in the $65,000 to $85,000 range in the next 18 months. I think people are now realizing how undervalued Wade's, because the same year, same card, you look at SP Authentic, you look at Topps, you look at Exquisite. Wade's cards were about 1/20th of LeBron's, and now that gap's closing. I can concede and say 1/10 of value. I understand that, but I think Wade's stuff is way undervalued. Way undervalued. I mean, I've seen his SP Authentic vertical number to 250. That card you could have picked up a 10/10 for 11, 12K, 13K a few months ago. Now they're selling 16, 18K. That same card for LeBron is $450,000. If you're talking about a $16,000 or $17,000, $18,000 sale for Wade, the exact same card LeBron is bumping on $500,000. That is such a gap. Now, once the gap closes with Exquisite, so if you're looking for future plays, once the gap starts to close with Exquisite, I do think that the gaps will close with others. The other prominent cards, the SP Authentic verticals, the Ultimate Signatures or the Ultimate Signatures Golds, that gap it'll go from 120 to 117 to 114, and eventually probably around the 1 to 10, 1 to 12 multiplier. I watched Wade's gap with LeBron extensively.
And there you have it. I wanted to look at the Hank Aaron here. It's at $440,000, and Kevin Walsh lets us know that on, I think he says the all-time high is 645 on Card Ladder for this particular card. So it's got a bit of a ways to go. Simon says, I love saying Simon says, the Lakers can't win another title due to their salary cap situation. After that, I'll advise after that ill-advised Westbrook trade, and I think collectors, investors are now pricing that in. Could be. Bob's Big Boy says LeBron is going back to Cleveland to complete the trilogy in 23-4. He will play with his son Bronny and beat Kareem's record. 5th title will put him well past MJ. Lot of ifs there, Bob's. A lot of ifs there. Cool. Good luck. Good luck on that. Chris Wong says that Wade is an absolute beast. And Bob says Curry to Ray Allen is like a 500 to 1 multiplier. Yeah, fair enough. All right. We have another guest joining us. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on the big screen. There he is. Adam, welcome. Hope you're feeling all right. Hope everything's okay. What's happening, buddy?
I'm feeling great. Things are great. We just we have had a little bit of sickness in my family, and then I was supposed to have my work party tonight anyway, and it's the holiday season. You know how it is; things get busy. But Erik's face over on the right side of the screen is way better looking than my face. So
no way, bro.
For sure, yeah. So I'm just happy you guys were willing to make time for me.
Well, for sure, man. And all you need to do is send me a better picture of yourself, and I'll update it. You know, it's that's on you, bro. That's on you. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. So, listen, we've been talking about a lot of cards here, having a good time. Is there anything in this auction that stands out to you? Anything surprising you right now? Anything you're bidding on? Anything you're selling? What can you? What do you want to talk about?
I asked Erik about a specific card earlier that I've been thinking about bidding on. I don't know where it's at because I just left the family time, but I'll tell you guys, it's the George Mikan, the 48 Bowman that's in a 6.5. If you want to pull that one up, Jeremy, that's the first thing I'll say is vintage basketball will always be my first love. I love vintage basketball, and this.
I love you, bro. That's awesome.
It's a beautiful card, man. I love this card. So I'm considering. I probably shouldn't say this with however many hundreds of people are watching us right now, but I love this card, and I am thinking about bidding on it. So still figuring it out.
Yeah, it's a great card, man. And this is a Mount Rushmore of basketball cards. If you go on the PSA set registry and you look at the set that is called the Mount Rushmore of basketball cards, this card is firmly entrenched on that list. And it's definitely a spectacular card. I'd also love to own one. What are you going to do, Adam? I mean, we'll let you play in the background and make your decision.
Can I let people see behind the curtain a little bit?
What do you want to show?
Well, so and I don't know. Am I delayed a little bit because I feel like you guys are delayed? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
We can hear you, but
fine.
kind of spotty.
Okay. Well, I hope my internet's not bad. It's been good, but you never know. So we all have our our cash situation and the cards that we want, right? And so I recently bought like one of the biggest cards I've ever bought before. And I'm like just trying to pay myself back on that. And so I sold a bunch of stuff through PWCC's monthly a few days ago. It just ended a few days ago.
Thank you, by the way.
And it's great. Like I was able to pay for the Jordan and everything. But I've been looking at this Mikan, and I told Jeremy I was looking at a card, when the Premier went live. And I saw this Mikan. I've been thinking about a Mikan for a while. The George Mikan card, as Jeremy talked about, is on the Mount Rushmore. But what people don't realize is if you go and you look at like the other really key cards that you think back historically, like the Alcindor 69, the Wilt 61, the Russell 57, like those are the big vintage cards, right? This card is so much rarer than any of those, right? It's like way, way rarer. And it's a card that I've never owned. It's a beautiful copy. And so I've wanted it, but I don't have a great cash situation right now. So I'm looking for advice from you two who are a lot smarter than me. What do you do when there's a card you really want, but you don't have the best cash situation? Do you start thinking about the stuff you have to move to get it? Like how do you think about that?
My advice is you call one of your fellow Kobe collector buddies who might have some good liquidity and be looking to purchase some of your cards, and you ask him to kind of cash you out. That's my advice. I mean, that's if you're asking my personal opinion. I would probably, and I might know somebody who could take some of those off your hands.
That's weird. I wonder who you could be talking about.
My advice, Adam, is if this is a card you really, really want, you get it. You get it, and you worry about the money after. I mean, if you can access the capital, you deploy that capital into this card. This is a card that you can never lose on, in my opinion. You deploy that capital into this card, and then you worry about replenishing later when you can and you have time. sort of just like Birds on the Bat says, well, Adam, you got to decide quickly on this. You might still have another 15 minutes, half an hour, but you got to decide. And for me, if it was me and I wanted this card that bad, I'd find a way.
So on this
Jerry?
card, real quick.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say on this, I'm going to be honest at this. Okay, most people look at the front. On the mic and cards, always look at the back because there's a lot of staining, maybe some gum issues, something to that effect. The centering is usually atrocious, but there's always going to be, to the most part, some black spotting of the ink transfer. You don't have that really here. You've got a little micro spot by the 3 in the second paragraph, which says, 4 pencils send only 3. There's a little baby dot, but that is so minuscule. The back of that card, it's actually the centering is extremely acceptable for that card. Extremely. Like the fact that it got a top 5%, I don't question it all. Like it is. Yeah.
Erik, you were pointing out this little dot right here that I'm circling on the screen right here. It's so minor. You zoom out.
That card is beautiful. So everybody dissects the front. I generally dissect the back on a lot of these rare cards. I'm not going to lie, Adam. That card, I can't say it's undergraded because I'm not going to question another grading company's authority, right, and stuff. So I just feel that it definitely presents itself a lot better than a 6.5. I'll say that. It's the best way to say that. It is the color registry in the front is insane. It's just a beautiful. It reminds me when I see something like that, throws me back to I wonder how pretty they were when you were a kid in the 40s busting packs, right? Like you feel that because you look at some 52 manuals that are 3s and 4s and you look at it and go, whatever. But when you see a card from the 40s, like the 61 Fleer set, when you see those in 9s and 10s and that color just jumps in your eyes, dude, it's like you just put yourself in that moment as being a kid busting that wax. And those cards were pretty. This card is beautiful. And for the price, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you need help doing what you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy, can you give me the patented Jeremy Lee, zoom in and think and walk me through how you feel about it?
I can. But before I will, and I have a couple comments on that. Birds on the Bat, he says do it for sure. Jeff Hart says do it and worry later. That's what I say. Do it and worry later. We're not bad influences. We are advising him to make a very good personal collection and investment decision. So, I will zoom in. The things that I noticed this little bit of white right here in between the blue background and the hair. That in a perfect world that wouldn't be there. The hair would match up perfectly. But this may be common to or present on all copies. I'm not sure. So I'd want to look at a whole bunch more to see if there's variation there. You see it down here, down the right side of what would be his left leg. You can see some white there on the bottom of the basketball, right here along the arm, this little bit of white right here. In a perfect world, those wouldn't all be there. You notice he's on the Wilt Chamberlain Fleer 61 Fleer rookie too, right under his arm. You see that a lot. My copy has it, and it doesn't bother me to the point where I wouldn't own it. So this copy for me, I would be able to look past all of these things, especially if that's the way all copies are. Right here, you can see that the edge of his hand where it cuts off, you'd want that to be a millimeter to the right to line up with this blue border. That would be ideal. So I think there might be a slight registration issue where the blue plate or a combination are a little slightly to the right here. And you can sort of see that happening right here where it's darker on his arm. So from a registration perspective, all that said, I think it's still a fantastic card. Like there's no blur. It's very clear. That's a very clear image of his face on this card. So the borders are nice and white. The corners are fine. There's I want my corners to be exactly like this. These are perfect corners for a card from 1948?
Yep.
Yeah. Edges are wonderful. The centering is not perfect left to right. You can see it's kind of like that 70-30-ish, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me. Adam, the other thing is that what would this card be if it was a PSA 6.5? Because it likely would be a PSA 6.5 or really close. If it was, what would this be? Like double, triple, 4X, 5X, 20 grand. Getting into an SGC on a card like this, you can get really good value, I think.
Great call. Jeff Hart posted in the chat a few minutes ago. I wonder if Jeff knows. I think he's a bit of a basketball.
He should. Yeah, Jeff should. If anybody should, Jeff should.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I wonder if he knows off the top of his head if that registration issue that Jeremy talked about is not only common but in the majority of cards. And love to hear Jeff's thoughts on that if he has any.
I'm not sure it would. I'm not sure it'd go a whole lot more if it was in a PSA, because I think this is really strong price for a 6.5, maybe 1 or 2 bids more. But I don't think when you see cards like this, people really care. They buy the card.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they buy the card. You know, and this is one that you just buy the card, and you're not paying. If I feel like that's a 7.5, in my opinion, that's what I feel it is. It's like in today's market, but it presents itself. That's what you look for if you're buying mid-grade cards. 5.5, 6, 6.5. Dude, you want them with that S label or a black diamond Mike Baker, and you want it to present itself well. You don't want to. Why would you want to pay 80 grand for the same card in a different holder?
Yeah.
Superior. Yeah. So this has the top 5%, which means that this copy is in the top 5% of all SGC 6.5s that PWCC has seen. So,
well, I better figure it out quick. And for all those people who might sort of wonder if we're like, bidding on the things on the side and then not talking about those, like, this is the card that I'm most interested in this auction. And sometimes I just think it's worth being really honest and sort of recognizing, like, this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know who the owner of this is. I'm not trying to like pump it up or anything. I'm literally thinking right now, do I go put a $21,000 bid on this, which Erik would tell me out the door is what, Erik? 26.4.
Yeah. I mean, it's negligible at that point, because once it's gone, it's gone. You're not.
Once it's out the door, Adam, it's out the door. Once you've
no. I mean, if you don't, what I meant by that is, if you don't buy it, you're not going to find another 6.5 like this. Like, it's just gone. You just go ahead and you shut the door. I mean, that on that card, you're going to have to buy 7 and 7.5, and you're going to have to, and you regret, because you're probably going to pay 40, 45, 50. So it's either pay the extra 1,500 or 2 grand, or just don't buy the mic in.
That's
just
right.
Close the door on that card, and that's, I'm just not getting one, and I just turn the page. You have to digest that at that point, and I do that sometimes. It's like, oh man, I was bidding on the golden logo man Kobe patch auto. It got 900, and I was like, all right, that door shut. That door, I'm not doing that anymore. I'll go spend my money somewhere else, But it is, but I think it's a good. I think under 30, it's a great buy. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, speaking of Kobe, like, my mind was like blown at the number of awesome Kobe's in this specific auction. Like, I'm looking through, going, that's a card I want to bid on. That's a card.
You see the logo man? 288 out the door. 288. 288 out the door.
Not autographed.
Yeah, no. So not the logo man. The limited logo. I misspoke. I apologize.
Oh,
the limited
logo is at 288. Wow.
Out the door for a 9. That is so amazing for the Kobe. And it's not just this card. You had the 8 of 8 that went for, again, 288. You had the one on Golden that went for 900. You have them on other auction houses. It's not just PWCC's only rare Kobe stuff going up. It's across the market, the uber rare Kobe stuff going up. That's a good sign, where people start looking at stuff and go, man, that stuff might dry up. I mean, there was talks that the card might hit 180, 200. The fact it's at 288 is a great sign. It's a great sign.
Well, this is the danger, Jeremy, of having 2 Kobe collectors on here. But Erik and I are super aligned on Kobe. The thing about Kobe is this: he probably has the most basketball cards of any player ever. Right? He played forever. He signed a ton during his career. He signed after his career. He's got so many years of cards. But the reality is that when you have so many cards like that, the question that has to be asked is, which cards actually matter? And that's a harder question to answer than just, do I like Kobe or do I want Kobe cards? And the great thing about the Premier Auction, not to pump PWCC too much here, but like, PWCC's Premier Auction is going to pull some Kobe cards that are highly sought after. This is why this is the 3rd straight Premier Auction we've seen an 08 gold refractor. This is why we have an 03 limited logos for not the first time. You know, one of the best 03 limited logos. There are, I think, if I counted right, there are 4 Kobe 1-of-1s in this auction, and all of those are interesting to me, all of them. And so I'm like looking at all of them, like, should I bid on this? Should I bid on that? But we just, you know, I'm a normal guy, like, you know, most people who are watching this. I can't afford this stuff. Thinking about buying a mic for 25 grand is insane, right? Like I've spent that much on a card once in my life. I just don't do it very often. So. But the Kobe listing here, what it does, in my opinion, is it's a great enough supply of high end stuff that there's a chance that a couple of them go for a little bit lower than they normally would. So that's another thing that I'm focusing on in this auction, Jeremy.
So, I'd like to just mention a few cards that just blew my mind real quick. Off topic on Kobe, the PMG Red Spider-Man is up to 72 out the door. Jeremy, so we were talking about maybe it hits 60 or it's at 72 out the door, the PMG Red Spider-Man. And I kind of felt in my heart it was going to do 60 plus. You know, I think that's absolutely acceptable. I do see the greens and the reds at this high level being stable at that, just because there's so few. You're talking 15 total cards between the PSA 9s and the 10 greens. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to point out. The other one, which is something I don't know if you brought up or not, Jeremy, at 55,000 before buyer premium, is the Nike promo 1985 Superior label. That card, as a normal PSA 10, is a $23,000 to $28,000 card. So when you look at what that black Superior, this is a good. So this is something we can go. We know what this card sells for. Right? It's not like it's the Mikan. Well, what does the normal Mikan sell for? 6.5. Well, we don't have enough real data to say what the multiplier is on that or how much better it adds. But that 85 promo, it's at 55K before buyer premium. So if you just scroll to that one right there. So if you look at that card, right, there is plenty of data to verify what that card's worth as a PSA 10, just as a regular PSA 10. Nothing against PSA, but just as a PSA 10. There's a lot of data that says that that's probably worth between 23 and 28K. Now, when you put the Superior label on the back, right? Because it's a PSA 10 with the Mike Baker sticker, right? It just says, hey, not the Superior label on the back, but it's got, because it's, let me see. Oh, wait, it does. It's got the S and the diamond and the black diamond. Whoa. So if people want to ask what that adds as a multiplier,
shit.
Yeah,
it does have both, Eric. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, I just caught that. I knew it had the S on the back, but I didn't notice it had because it blends in with the picture in the front, the Mike Baker. It actually has the black on both. So when you look at multipliers for what that adds value to a card, this right here, it's at I want to say, let me see what the price is. You're looking at about 65, 66,000. That is over a 2x multiplier for what that is, which actually substantiates when the Jordan 86 Fleer sold for $840, which at that point was a 2x multiplier. And people are like, is that really normal? You know, is that a normal multiplier to have that when that Superior is added on it? You know, so this actually just shows that wasn't just an outlier. And I don't know if anybody else caught that, but that's a huge number for that card. A BGS 10 and that same card, a Beckett BGS 10, K or 50K. So now this is 30% higher than a BGS 10 sale that I'm aware of. So that's a huge.
Eric, you're in and out right now, so I'll just ask you to take a short break here, and we're gonna turn our attention to this card here, the BGS 9 Star 101. I know Adam and I have talked about it before. I know our friend Sean Victory Investments in the crowd is a big fan of this card, and there was somebody else who was asking us to talk about it a little bit, and I'm sorry, I don't see the comment at the moment from you. I want to find it though, because I know you were asking. Here we go. Shane DeVos says the Star MJ BGS 9 should this get more love price wise? I don't know the answer to that. Adam, do you?
I also don't know the answer to it, but I would just say you asked me which cards I was looking at or I was focusing on in this auction. and I mentioned the Mikan, obviously, but the Jordan Star. This isn't the sort of card that I typically go after. I'm like a big rare card guy, but I did some research on this card beforehand. This is a Pop 72. There's 72 nines graded by BGS. There are just over 1,000 graded total. This is one of the better Michael Jordan Star XRCs in existence, and it's just for a little bit more money than, like that Steph Curry gold card, which, by the way, I love too. But like, those are the two that I put next to each other on my comparisons, and I had people vote. And I had people say, which of these do you think will sell for more? And it was split pretty evenly, but I had a few people message me passionately, like, this is insane, because Steph Curry has all these great cards, nothing to take away from the gold card. He's got all these great cards, but this is like Jordan's XRC. This is like a hobby, very important card. And there's only 72 of them. And so I get that. Like, I look at now, $60,000 is more than I've ever spent on a card before, but I look at this one and I go, that's really cool. Like, I get somebody paying $72,000 on this. I get somebody paying a lot more than that. There's 3 nines or 3 9.5s, 72 nines. The only thing that makes you sort of tilt your head a little sideways on this one is it doesn't have subgrades. And if I'm getting a card graded by Beckett, I'm putting subgrades on it, especially if it's a Jordan card like this, so that's the only thing that's a little bit different. But look at it. It's a beautiful card. It
is nice, and the centering is great for this particular card. Usually it's a lot further to the left in copies I've seen. I never wanted this card before, and then talking to Sean from Victory Investments and seeing his profile he did on the card and learning more about it, I decided it would be great to own one, pair it up with your 86 Fleer MJ. I think those two cards as a pair are wonderful together. I don't own one yet, and it's not really that high on my list, but it is on my list at some point to pick up one of these cards. I'm going to go to some comments, guys. I like this one. Birds on the Bat says, if the other bidders on the Mikan are watching, they must be thinking, shut up. Stop talking up that card that I am trying to buy. No doubt. Joe says the deep blue reminds him a little bit of the Stan Musial Leaf card, which I can totally see that. Agree with that. Classic DJ's Gaming says classic. He's wearing glasses while playing, and we're talking about the Mikan. And yeah, back then Joe says, yeah, Adam is on the ledge. Adam, have you placed a bid? Are you willing to tell us?
I did. I placed it. I didn't want to talk about it anymore, but I just checked maybe 30 seconds ago, and somebody outbid me already. So
you're outbid for now.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Hart thinks it's fairly common that sort of registration thing, which I kind of think so too, based on my gut on all the copies I've looked at over the years. Seems like that should be the case. Joe Sakic says, Adam, you got to do it. Adam's FOMO. Lamine James in the house. Lamine James says, Erik getting Adam's FOMO juices flowing. They are flowing. No doubt. Vintage Cards says, the inventor of the 3-point line. That's pretty
I'm
cool.
here for you, Adam.
Andrew Mark, Erik, will PWCC have a trade with or without cash option in fixed price marketplace next year? Erik, can you just answer that with one word, please? Yes, no, or I don't know. Yes, no, or I don't know. That's your choices.
No, I don't know. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's at this moment. That's what I can say is I don't know. Yeah.
That's good enough. Rock Latex, the Mikan PSA 6, $20,000 in September 2021. PSA 7, 28.8. So yeah, so the SGC, but a 6.5 is different than a 6, right? So let's keep going. Joe says, I tend to imagine other cards that I'm holding and consider an imaginary trade to assess if I would be comfortable with the purchase. That's a great strategy, Adam, right there. New drinking game. Anyone? Yeah, drink anytime someone says out the door. You all know that when Erik is on the show, you're all gonna be pretty hammered when he's on with us. Jeff Hart says Steph Curry should praise Mikan before bed each night after he created 3-point line in the ABA. Very cool. Chris Wong, Crosby or Ovechkin though. Right now Ovechkin is the much more fun player to hold, but you might be getting better value in long-term value in Crosby. Birds on the Bat says Adam actually raises a great point. I was thinking of Erik. If multiple people want to consign the same or similar cards during the same Premier Auction, do you advise all but not all of them, but not one of them. Basically, and I can kind of answer this, Erik, because I'm aware that that you guys will only put one of each card in the Premier Auction. Now you might have different grades, but you only have one PSA 9 Jordan rookie, one PSA 10. So everyone else it's probably first come first serve. Everyone else just has to wait their turn. Is it as simple as that, Erik?
That's it. And so I always tell customers, look, don't wait till the deadline to send something in that you think might be kind of common. You know, like LeBron Topps Chrome Refractor, PSA 10, or Jordan BGS 9.5. I think we've got 9.5s laid out till January, February, and I'm not even sure about March. Like 9.5 Jordan rookies, PSA 10s, I think we have one for January, not too sure about February. But if it's stuff like that, just commit, man. Just throw that in there. You don't wait till the end, or else, you know, we could always shop it for you privately. We're very successful doing that, or send it to monthly, you know.
There you go. There you go. Sean loves that the star is autoed in this auction. Love this. Oh, there's another version. There's another star. There's an autoed copy of this in the auction.
Yeah, Sean and I are both real fans of the vintage cards that are autographed, and that's another one of my favorite cards in this auction. It's an 8 with an autograph on it, and an 8 in the star. What's that?
I want a 9 with a 10 auto, blue ink. That's what I'm waiting for, is a 9 with a 10. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's I probably shouldn't have slipped, but that's my chase.
How about this point, guys? Rock Latex makes the comment, no subgrades, hurts the star card. Jeff Hart says, good point. You know, lack of subgrades probably holds back some value.
Yep.
Agree or disagree, Adam?
Yeah, 100%. When you see a Beckett holder at this point, you want to see subgrades. We all do. Right? When you don't, you go, why doesn't it have subgrades?
Yeah.
Erik, does it hurt the value not having the subgrades? Does it hurt the auction not having the subgrades?
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that. I'm like, for me as a buyer, so I always look at how would I look at it as a buyer. I want to see subgrades. But then that being said, if you know your craft and you're good at what you do, that's where the arbitrage can be. Because sometimes people just want to save 20 or 50 bucks. You see, Adam knows, because when we go to card shows, I don't want to overpay for cards with no subgrades, but I'm always looking to look at cards with no subgrades, because then I can look at it and go, that's a true gem, or maybe a true gem plus. And I'll go ahead and pay his full asking price. Here you go, sir. And then I'll take it right over to Sappy or somebody and have the subgrades put on it, and it could really work in my favor. So you're right, it hurts the value, but if you're looking for future arbitrage, definitely be looking for cards that have no subgrades. Sorry if I ruined anybody's arbitrage there.
Erik is so smart. He's like, you always want to think from the perspective of, as a buyer, how will this make me feel? Like if I'm an end use buyer, somebody who's buying it for my PC forever, how's this going to make me feel? And as soon as I see a lack of subgrades, I go, I don't want that as much. But if I'm a buyer to then flip it, I want that. Just like with the Mikan being in the SGC holder, like I want to buy the SGC Mikan because it's not in a PSA holder, and it's not that SGC is bad. I might just leave it in the SGC holder because I don't care. It's still just the card, but it probably gets me a better deal on it. So good thoughts, Erik.
All right, guys. I want to bring up this comment from Bob's Big Boy. I really think this is interesting. So he says here, and let's just get Erik's face back on the screen. Take off mine. He says, tough for me to get excited about Mikan over some era athletes like Mantle, Jackie, Jim Brown, Ben Hogan. Mikan's a towel boy in today's NBA. Other athletes I mentioned would still shine. I mean, I feel like there's validity to this comment. However, you go back to any player, really most players that played in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, a lot of these players couldn't play in today's professional leagues. So, but for some reason, you know, he's a pioneer though, right? Pioneers have a place in history, therefore in the hobby. So what do you guys think of that? We'll start with Adam.
I think he's right. Like, I don't think George Mikan could play in the NBA today, but George Mikan won 5 championships with the Minneapolis Lakers. He was the first he was like one of the guys, like you just nailed it, Jeremy. He's a pioneer. And that card, like, I don't care how good the athlete is at this point. I care how important the card is. That card in any world is one of the most important basketball cards ever made. So, you know, for me, I've owned basically everything in basketball cards. I don't want to like pump myself up too much, but I basically owned it, right? I've never owned a nice Mikan before. I'd love a nice Mikan. So whether he was a great athlete then and he's versus now, kind of irrelevant to me.
Fair. It's that last thing you said. Yeah, if he was that good at the time, that's still important enough for me too. And that's what gets you on a Mount Rushmore, right? A Mount Rushmore is a permanent sort of thing. So once you're there, you can't be taken off. And I think I think there's validity to all of that, but there's still validity to Bob's comment that he would be a towel boy in today's NBA. But
he's
not in today's NBA. Go ahead, Erik.
And here's my take on that. So when people always bring up that point, this is my rebuttal to them. Well, we can't then put LeBron on the Mount Rushmore because we don't know what athletes are going to look like in 2050 or 2060, right? So, I mean, that's the truth. We look back at today as if the world ends tomorrow. Well, we know it's not. So we can't judge yesterday if you're not. So if you can't look at the players today and assume that there's not going to be a tomorrow, because what people are trying to do is they're trying to say that, well, in my generation, up till this moment in time, and let's forget the future, we're just going to use this as the bar. But we don't know what the bar is going to be. Point guards could look like LeBron James in 30 years. You know, you could have people 7'3" moving like him in 30 or 40 years. We don't know what people are going to look like. So we can't judge the past, just like we can't use the future to judge today. So we look at everybody of where they are and how significant of how they were, when they were, where they were.
Well said, man. Well said. I want to welcome Skeppy to the show. And Birds on the Bat says Mikan was the first guy. He's akin to Cap Anson, the NBA's first true superstar, and he's tied to the Lakers, the greatest franchise in the history of the sport. He will always be relevant. And those are some lofty words, and you can't really disagree with them. And it doesn't, but that can still completely reconcile with the fact that today he may not make a starting lineup. So. All fair comments there. Kevin Walsh says, tough for me to get excited about Gretzky with Ovechkin out there tearing it up these days. Yeah, but Gretzky's not playing these days. So, yeah, but I get it.
He's teasing.
Yeah, for sure.
He can sell all those Gretzky cards in. He can sell all those Gretzky cards on PWCC then if he's not too excited about them. Feel free to ship them in and sell them.
Adam, is that you getting outbid on the mic?
Yes. Leave me alone and let me win my Mikan.
All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Serge has a devil's advocate comment. A great athlete then coupled with the diet, training, and various other things athletes have today would maybe make Mikan a decent player today. Yeah, great point. Completely valid. Mikan under today's in today's world of nutrition and technology and training, he could be converted into a top player. You know, look at a guy like Dirk. Look at some of these. Oh gosh, how do you say this? There's a player. Yeah, like some of these real skinny, tall white guys. Look at some of them, and they're still playing just fine. Why can't George Mikan looks like a lot of those guys that you see nowadays? So why couldn't he? Why couldn't he be prepped for it?
Joker looks like 280 pounds of chewed bubble gum trying to climb uphill in the summer. Right, that's what Joker looks like. He looks horrible. But I mean, you watch him play. I don't like people talk about MVP. From my opinion, he's a clear MVP. His PER is 34. But they look at his physique and they're like, oh, I don't know. He's not flat. He's not chiseled. That's where when we look at things in the past, we go, well, they just assume they couldn't have done it. Like Russell couldn't have been as good as the players today. Wilt couldn't have been as good, which is crazy because, again, you look at Kevin Durant. I mean, he looks like he could do push-ups underneath the door. He's so skinny, but he's doing it. And there are far few that are probably have ever done it better than KD.
Durant's sorry, Erik, but Durant's a great example of that body type that it looks like Mikan has or had, right? Like he's just this tall, skinny guy who I think height is his best asset because he's basically eye level with the rim. Here, Joe Sakic says, tough for me to get excited about Charizard. Who knows what stud Pokemon are still to come? Skeppy says, Brady. Oh, it took you guys a while on that, huh?
So sorry.
Yeah. Brady is the bar we'll never see again. Could be fair.
Not my lifetime.
Yeah, we can keep on talking about this era differential.
So
let's move along here.
We're a million over my projected. I had
Joe
projected
says
12.8.
sometimes when it's a close call on recalibrating assets, I go for the more rare and or the older vintage asset over manufactured scarcity. There's something to think about, Adam.
Mm. I'm out on the mic, and by the way, guys, no more influencing me. The last bid was exactly $27,000 out the door. Don't drink because I said out the door. But yeah, like 27,000. If I was gonna win that card, 27,000 was my number, right? So no luck.
Sorry to hear, man.
Good
but
effort,
you know what?
though.
I would say one thing, Adam. Sort of counter to what Erik said is I wouldn't take myself out of the Mikan game for now. I would look at it. I would just be patient, wait for a really nice PSA 5, SGC 5, something like that, and go from there. But I don't take myself out altogether of the card. But that's Erik. You have a different sort of. You have a very you have the Erik approach. I'll call it, which is like go hard or go home, like all the time. That's how you play the hobby.
The problem is the next Mikan I would go after, I wouldn't be able to emotionally get past the fact that I'm going to compare it to that 6.5 I didn't get. And it would eat me alive. And I just own that about me. Like, I've got some great attributes. You can ask my boss, PWCC. There's a lot of things they love about me, but there are things that you don't like about Erik, right? So I've learned to accept that that's how I would look at it. I would, even if I bought a PSA 7, I would still look at screenshots at that 6.5 that I didn't win. And I would just, it would drive me nuts. And I can't do it. Unless I had 80 grand later to buy 7.5 or an 8, I would just call it a day and just, you know what? I had the chance, and it's all right. Look, and here's the thing, man. It's like surfing. There's always another wave. There's always gonna be another chase card. There's always tomorrow. The man upstairs got you here this far, and there's gonna be more down the road. And the sooner we can live in peace with that, man, the sooner everything just moves. That's when I could enjoy my hobby, when I wouldn't stress about those ones that I'd missed. I got offered the 1 of 10 green PMG Jordan at the Nationals years ago. The guy just pulled it and they were going to auction it. Before it went to auction, he wanted 100 grand for it. And I had the money in my pocket and I didn't buy it. I had 102,000 and I didn't buy it. And, it is what it is. It's okay. You just, it's all about enjoying the journey.
I'm just going to throw up a banner for everybody. Here you go. If you want to go to gofundme.com/get Adam his Mikan, you can now contribute. You can now contribute to the George Mikan, Adam Gray, SGC 6.5, Mount Rushmore. Let's get it. Card project for Adam. I'll leave that up there for a few minutes. Let everybody go to that site and throw a few bucks at it. Obviously, that is not
I want to compare a card real quick.
Sorry, but the part that got me at the end was obviously that is not real. I was going to ask you what you were going to do with the money if I didn't win the mic. And Jeremy, you might have finally gotten paid some real dollars for doing the show.
There we go. I was going to just put it towards my card fund if you weren't going to win the mic. And thank everybody for helping you. Okay, let's keep going here. I want some comments because Brian Basketballs just said something that makes me kind of curious, but let's see. The PMG Spider-Man is something special. Gem-Mint cards, no doubt about it. Triple V says, great show. Thank you. Big up to Adam for throwing in the towel. The hunt continues. Yeah, for sure. Riker says, Erik, how much would that Jordan Green PMG sell for today? Was it graded? Erik, put out a number.
2.7 at least.
Thank you. And Brian Basketball says, oh, wow, now I'll comment. What's that in relation to the now I'll comment? Did something happen that you can now comment? Brian Basketballs, love to hear your comments. All right, look at that. Kobe Bryant Kaboom from 2013 gets a bid, taking it to 16.5. So this auction, like you guys might be noticing that the extended bidding clock right here, it's going to tick down towards that 0 mark. But as soon as a bid comes up, it's going to reset to a minute. And this is going to now continue until there are no more bids at all in this auction. So this thing should be ending. I would guess this auction will end in the next 10 or 15 minutes. But I guess we will see what actually ends up happening. The Herbert at $100,000. My nightmare story of this Michael Jordan card is at 23 grand. Look at that. Fleer Retro PMG Green LeBron gets a bid to 21. So the bids are still coming in pretty quick here, guys.
it still feels like, I don't want to say this because then it'll end quickly, but it feels like we still have a ways to go. I don't know what you guys have talked about already, but can I just mention a couple cards that seem interesting right now? So when I was comparing the two, what I thought were the two biggest cards on the basketball side of the auction, I looked at I looked at the Luka that was at $600,000 earlier, at $650 now, and then I looked at the LeBron limited logos. The LeBron limited logos to me is really interesting because it's a 9.5. The autograph's great. The patch is great. If I was bidding in this world, and I'm nowhere near this world. But if I was, like, that LeBron is a cooler card than the Luka. No offense to the Luka, and I know Luka fans are passionate like crazy, but the LeBron card is just such a nice. I would prefer the LeBron, and then the funny thing, and then just to prove that I'm not trying to put the LeBron above or whatever, but I would actually prefer the number pieces LeBron over this one. And so those are two of the most interesting cards to me in the auction, and they're not as high yet as I kind of thought they might be, but I don't follow those, but I would definitely take the number pieces over the limited logos.
Even though the numbered pieces is authentic.
I guess that just says something about me and my collecting. I understand why the 9.5 sells for more. The number pieces to me it's the insert out of Exquisite. It's the best one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Some people love patch size, and the fact. And Eric, you're exactly right. It's a 9.5, but to me, like LeBron 03 Exquisite is that's one of the pinnacles, right? It doesn't get much better than that, and I have a hard time understanding for why it wouldn't sell for more than some more modern cards do. That's all I'm saying.
Makes good sense. Daniel Busby puts up a comment. Can we stay on and talk about cards for an hour after the auction? It is a Saturday night after all, no work tomorrow. Well, what we could maybe do is stay on for a bit, but I am going to be going on to another YouTube channel after this called Sports Cards Anonymous, a channel by a gentleman by the name of Dakota, who's celebrating his 1-year YouTube anniversary today, having people on. So he invited me and I accepted. So after this, I will be joining Dakota on his channel and helping him celebrate his 1-year YouTube anniversary. But it is like one guest at a time. So I might be in the waiting room and maybe we can do something here in the meantime. But thanks for that, Daniel. Appreciate it. Rich Frank has been buying up some PC Dr. J and Magic cards because he enjoyed that game. That's a great reason to do that, Rich Frank. I think we can all agree on that. Chris Wong says, so true. I love Luka, but his NT doesn't even hold a candle to the limited logos LeBron. I mean, hard to disagree with that. I mean, it just is. I've always found that the look and feel, the weight, of most Upper Deck cards are a higher quality than most Panini cards. That's just been my personal experience when I've held and just feel the cards themselves. That's just one thing. I find the Upper Deck cards to be heavier, which I tend to like that. But aside from that, I mean, the LeBron is game worn. The Luka is not. That's a big deal right there, Adam. Yet the Luka's almost twice the price at the moment. It is a rookie card, but isn't this a rookie card? I consider it to be, not official, but I consider it to be a rookie card for me anyway. It's good enough. So I don't know. I might have been a little bit distracted when you were talking about some of that earlier, but anything else on these two cards, Adam, like based on what I just said?
I think you and I are on the same page on this one. You highlighted that the LeBron is the limited logos isn't the true rookie, and if it was the true rookie, it would be a lot more than $650,000. So that's worth pointing out. I like your call on I don't want to call it vintage Upper Deck game used, but that sort of era of the late 90s through the mid 2000s. Like, I'm with you. I'm kind of like going through a stage right now. Like, I love a lot of that stuff. A few of the big cards that I bought recently, I bought that Jordan Ultimate autograph patch that I talked to you guys about last time. A lot of that is from that era. I really like it. But having said that, you look at let's defend the Luka a little bit for a second here. You can see right there, pop 1 of 4. There's 4 10-10 Lukas, and whether we we in general love PSA that much more than BGS. People differ on that, but there's no question that PSA just outsells BGS on some of the stuff by an awful lot. If it was me bidding, I would definitely choose the LeBron. There's no question. But if you believe in Luka, you think he's going to be one of the best ever, and you want to own, one of his very best true rookies, you don't exactly have a lot of choices. So I get it. It's weird to me though. I wouldn't bid that way.
I'm with you, Adam. I'm 100%. I would buy that LeBron over that Luka. I mean, and I'd save 300 grand as well. Like, to me, the LeBron is. I wonder how much of this is the PSA 1010. I wonder, because that's sort of a new thing that people are really. They're almost under a spell on these 1010s. But the fact of the matter is that many cards that are with autographs that are in PSA 10 holders would likely be PSA 1010s if you sent them back. That process of sending them back and getting it reslabbed, and I guess risking that it's no longer a 10 on the card, is maybe what makes these prices so high on the PSA 1010s. But is it worth that much? I don't know. Not to me. I'll put it that way. Not to me.
Let me say real quick on this too, because Erik asked the right question earlier when he said, when I was comparing the number pieces and the exquisite, and your 1010 comment is exactly right, Jeremy. We each have different values, right? We each have things we care about. Jeremy, you're quick to talk about how you love corners, and some people are really like, centering guys. And you're like, well, there's things to me that are more important than that. I don't care about a condition of a card as much as I care about what the card is. So I like the rarity of a card way more than the condition of a card. And so if you have two comps and they're worth about the same, I choose the rare card almost every time. But that's not how everybody is, and that's okay. We each can like our kind of our own different things.
This impeccable Lulu here is a really nice looking card. I like this one. I like this one a lot. It's a very nice looking card. A couple comments here. Let's see. Bryant Basketballs. I traded for an 04 Hoops Supreme Court patches of Shaq 13 to 20, but the patch is purple, gold, and white, but the pick on the card is from a Miami Heat. Does this add to the value? It does not add to the value, but it doesn't necessarily take away from it either. Those are commonly referred to as Frankenstein cards, where you've got, a picture of the player in one jersey, maybe a patch from another team, and maybe he's even listed on a third team on the card itself because there was a trade or something or a signing. Bob's Big Boy says there's a video on YouTube from 2014 National, and Steel City Collectibles has a raw 03 LeBron limited logos in their showcase for $5,000. We all want that time machine. Chris Wong says, what do we think a PSA 10 LeBron limited logos would do? The PSA 1010 does tend to do insane numbers. I can't even speculate on that. Do Adam or Erik want to speculate on that? What would a PSA 10 LeBron logos do?
What do you think, Erik? I had no idea.
What do you mean, like his limit, like a logo man, like a
limited? No, limited logos.
So just take that limited logos, Erik, and pretend it's in a PSA 1010 case.
This
throw
one
me a pop number. Just throw me a pop number, pop 2, pop 4, whatever. Give me a pop number real quick.
3.
Pop 3. 750.
750. So he just plugged that into his internal formula and pops out 750. Well done, Erik. Well done.
Pop 1, 1.1 for sure.
1.1. Crazy.
Depending on patch, if it's the same patch.
Superbad agrees, buys LeBron over the Luka. James says some big money into Luka. Those who own them can't let his cards go for cheap. They are all in. I think there's some truth to that, right? It's the same thing that's going on with Zion right now. A lot of people don't want to sell Zion on the low because they have a lot of money into him. Yet we see cards tonight of Zion selling for some good money. So always interesting stuff.
Yeah,
James Madison.
And to be honest,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, I mean, some of these cards, like I would buy. Like, if you won something, and I have customers do this, or friends of mine do this to me all the time. They'll win something on PWCC and reach out to me, Erik, would you buy, knowing they know my taste, and sell it to me after I'm watching them win it, right? And they'll sell it to me for, 5% markup. Because there's a lot of stuff on here that I see that I love, and I'm like, dude, this stuff is just, but I could be wrong though, right? I could just pay for something and then I miss 8, 12, 15 months down the road. That's just I paid above market. But sometimes I'm so adamant in my convictions that I'll pay over what it just recently sold for, whether it's PWCC, Golden, Heritage, because some of the stuff, even this auction house or other auction house, you see stuff that does really strong, the middle does strong, and there's some anomalies in there. And then in the bottom, you see stuff that goes a lot higher, but then there's stuff you thought should go more that goes for lower, so that's kind of how I play in some situations,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody does the same thing,
Perot points out that the Honest hits 95K. We have it on the screen right here. The National Treasure's out of 25. That seems low to me, just compared to what other cards go for. So why is that so low? Why is the Honest only 95,000 where Luca's 650?
It's a great.
You talking about the gold 25?
Yeah, is it because it's out of 25? It's not the true RC?
It's authentic. Look at the grade. It's an authentic.
Thank you. Missed that. Okay, great.
You throw that in a 9, that's probably 200 plus.
Got it. James Manna says the Nebula Lucas creeping over $50,000. Rich Frank says I'll take good corners and edges over centering all day. Yeah, Adam said earlier that I'm a corners guy. I'm actually a surface guy. I'm registration is like number one for me. It's registration, then it's the other three, and it just depends on the card what order they fall in. For me, at least. Yo-Yo Pa says, "Wow, ignoring is not the answer." Well, thanks for that life lesson, Yo-Yo Pa. Rich Frank, being 100, I think % honest, I will take a Tony Gwynn over any LeBron card. That could be a whole discussion on its own. Brad Humber, don't know if it was mentioned earlier in the show, but quickly, why is the 03 LeBron limited logos not considered a rookie card? Go ahead, Adam.
So, most of the time, true rookie cards have to come from the base set. And 03 Exquisite is like all of those, 99.9% of sets out there where the true rookie comes from the base set. And so when we think of the LeBron true rookie, it's numbered out of 99. It has the form of the base set. It's numbered within the sequence of that. What is it? A 90 card set, 60 card set, whatever it is. I should know that. And it's the base card. But there's a lot of people who will tell you that they prefer the number pieces because the limited logos, because it has a game used uniform. The patch is a lot bigger. And, that really matters. And it's a rarer card. There's only 75 of them versus 99. So it's not a true rookie in that it's not from the base set and all that. But in a lot of ways, a lot of people prefer that card.
What do y'all think about the I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what's your thoughts on just a small pivot there? I'm seeing some of the cards from the mid-end, like the Jim Brown. Sorry to take you off topic there. The Jim Brown PSA 8. Because I'm kind of going through these and looking at some outliers, some kind of anomalous, it's going a lower or a little bit higher than normal. The Brown PSA 8, the past 6 or 7 sales seem to be ticking up and up and up. They started, the high 20s, low 20s, started going back up into the high 20s. Now it's at 36 out the door. Seems to be pretty consistent and stable in the 25 to the low 30 range. I think that card probably could creep up into the 40s here soon.
Good. Be good to see that. That's a great card as well. Total GOAT, total Mount Rushmore sort of card for sure. I wanted to bring up Brad Humber says, don't know if it was mentioned earlier on the show, but oh no, we did that one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm out of sorts here. Out of order. Here we go. Brad Humber got you just from another part. Just from another part of the set on the rookie card thing. That's all it is. Yo-Yo Pie, I don't have a comment from you at 8:51 p.m. If you had any cursors, they may not have come through. Brittany Tucker, Block. Okay. Oh, there's the two DiMaggios showing up beside each other again. I wonder if someone's trying to pick up the pair. What do you guys prefer? I'll go. I mean, these are both PSA 8s. They're both old label. They're both beautiful. One has the graffiti. This one doesn't. I like the cleaner look. What about you, Adam? Start with you.
Well, you know what? I didn't even know there was two DiMaggios till right now. Shows you what I know. So they're both Gaudi, right? And So, and are they just different numbers in the set?
Yeah, one's 250, one's 274. That's all they are. Every card, every player had the 2 cards in the set. This one here, as you can see, I'm biased because I do prefer this one, and I own a copy. So a nice, beautiful, clean-looking card versus this one here, which, you know, I could see why people would like this one more. There's just more to it. There's more things to look at, but I find it just a little messier, so I prefer the clean copy.
Flip a coin for me. I'm not sure.
How about you, Eric? Which one do you like better?
I like the graffiti. I like it a lot better.
You do, huh? Yeah. A lot of people do. Lots of people do.
It fits the cartoon. It fits the cartoonish feel.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well put. For sure does. Yeah, yeah.
If it wasn't a
I'll still
cartoon
stick with
card,
my
I would.
clean version. Go ahead.
If
I
it
think
wasn't
Eric's
a
on a bit of a
cartoon
delay.
card, I wouldn't. Yeah. You know.
I would, Jeremy, I would look at whichever one has a lower population and buy that one. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's a fair approach. But again, for me, I'm going to go with with the aesthetic that I prefer, which is the cleaner copy. Oh, look at that! It just got the bid too. I do prefer the cleaner copy because of just aesthetics wise. So I would actually go there first, then it would be, you know, condition and population.
What about the Namath that just got a bid on it? Like I know that's, you know, one of the, you talk about Mount Rushmore. I would guess if there's a Mount Rushmore football, that's probably on it, right?
It is. It's on it for sure. It's on it with the Jim Brown, and I'd have to look to see who else. It's just not popping in my head right now, but definitely the Namath is on the Mount Rushmore.
And if that was a PSA 8.5, that card would be like well into the 6 figures, right? Like, I don't know, maybe like like crazy money. So it's another one of those opportunities where that Erik was talking about earlier, where if you see something that's in a BGS case that you feel like could cross to a PSA, or even if it crossed at like a 7 or a 7.5 or something, that might make this an interesting card to go after.
Let's go to this comment here from June. It says, and we might have to pick up or have a look at these cards specifically. It says, look at the 2 LeBron exquisites. The patch auto out of 100, PSA 1010, is very close in price to the limited logos, which is absurd. This clearly shows the hobby lost its mind with the PSA thing. Who wants to comment?
I don't know if we might have lost Erik, but June has been on the show before. June's really smart. All right. June has an incredible collection and a great eye for these things. There's just being honest here. Give me both of those LeBron exquisites and then the cash that I'm going to have extra 100 times out of 100. To me, it doesn't make sense, but that's the thing. And June understands this probably just as well as anybody. Like it has to do with, you know, who's at the table. And those people at the table want the guy who still has the career to go develop. And I think June would also recognize, you know, if LeBron or if Luka goes and has a LeBron-like career and that NT at a 99 ends up being the same as LeBron at a 99, then you'll end up being really glad that you paid $650 for it. You know? So would I do it? I would do exactly what June is saying.
Hey, Erik.
Yes, sir.
You're there. Yeah. So I type into the search bar LeBron exquisite and I get no results. Why doesn't that work? Do you know why that doesn't work?
Let me check.
That's weird, Jeremy.
LeBron exquisite.
I didn't either.
Oh.
I got nothing. Let me
Well, now it worked.
James.
It worked for me the second time.
Is it because you didn't have the B in LeBron capitalized? And that's a weird thing, but that might be it.
I don't think so. I didn't. I wouldn't. I don't think that's the case. But I was just curious. It seems to work now. So who knows? We'll just move. We will just move on. We'll go to Birds on a Bat's comment. It's so hard to judge a card like that. Joe Namath. Not only is BVG not as frequently sold, but BVG grades aren't respected by most vintage collectors. Just hard to place. I pretty much agree with those comments. It is tough. The BVG vintage does throw you off when you're kind of trying to figure out what a card should be worth or what it would go for. Birds on the Bat goes on to say, personally, it would take a lot for me to buy a BVG graded card. I'd pay more for less 9. I'd pay more for less 9 times out of 10. Makes sense.
Well, it looks like that the numbered pieces, Adam, is starting to creep up there.
Yo-Yo Pa, I'm just going to block you because we are not turning this into that sort of show. You can take your comments offline, please, if you want to. But thanks for coming out, not. Daniel Busby, I agree, June. The hobby and the PSA thing is crazy. There's no reason a PSA 10 should go for the amount it does over a BGS 9.5. Fair. And Victory Investment says, on the DiMaggio, the one with graffiti is pop 28. The clean one Jeremy likes is a pop 9. Jeremy likes the more rare one, apparently, and he didn't even know it. That's in a PSA. I do, Sean, but you're talking about PSA 8s, I believe. My personal copy, I believe my DiMaggio is a PSA 5, so a much lower grade, but I mean, heck, still an amazing card to have.
So what are y'all's thoughts on the fact that the market doesn't, and let's go with modern, let's forget vintage. The market, it doesn't seem to value as much SGC versus it does PSA. However, in the Jordan, the 86 Fleer, Heritage sold an SGC Gem Mint for $198. Ours is currently sitting at $180, out the door. So relatively close. You're talking less than 10% difference, right? It seems like the market in regards to the Jordan rookie, the SGCs used to sell for what a true gem price used to for. Historically, if you look back at SGC Gem Mints, they kind of sold about True Gem, maybe True Gem Plus. But the fact that now the SGC Gem Mints they're consistent, well, almost 100K at 198 and 180 here. It seems like the market of the upper end stuff is kind of starting to respect SGC. I'm kind of wondering, I hope I love SGC, right? I love the brand. I hope that the rest of the market on the lower end stuff starts to respect it as well. When you see Jordan's hitting almost 200 consistently, that's pretty impressive.
You're just trying to get me to go bid on the mic again, aren't you?
No, man. I don't want to push you past your comforts, right? I've been there, man.
You're still in the game, Adam. This auction is still alive. We're in the 1 minute level here. I mean, this thing, I think last time it ended about 10 or 15 minutes from now. So are you still thinking about it, Adam? Legit?
Can you check the GoFundMe for me real quick?
Yeah, let me just throw that up there again for everybody, guys. If you do want to help Adam buy his George Mikan SGC 6.5, please go to GoFundMe.com/get Adam his Mikan, and you can help him out with that. I've already contributed 75 cents, Adam. I hope it gets you a lot of the way there.
I put $5 on it. I got $5 on it.
Sweet.
We got $5 for you too.
I got $575. I just need to raise another 28 grand. Here we go.
Where's it at? Where's the Mikan at right now? Is it still like 23,000 or something like that?
I think so. I haven't looked at it. I really did. I really did tune it out once I had to pay more than 27,000. If it was 27,000, it just felt like it was meant to be. Once that guy outbid me, whoever that guy is, that bad guy, I was like, I'm out. If that guy's in the chat, will he tell us? Just so I can.
He will.
Just so I can block it or something.
He'll let us know.
Just kidding. James
Fertitta says, I think people are gambling on the SGC Jordan to cross over to PSA. I mean, that's very possible. I think there's still lots of that going on. Joe Perot lets us know Mikan's at 23K. Kevin likes SGC cases too, especially for vintage cards. Yeah, I don't mind them for myself either. I would like CSG being the other one. I'll tell you what, I'd certainly be willing to add more cards if they tightened up their label a little bit, but that label itself is the only thing keeping me from adding some CSG cards to my collection. Victory Investment says, I will see Jeremy 75 cents and double it for a Mikan donation, $1.50 here, but Adam needs to get Venmo. So you got a few things to do, Adam, but you can see that we're willing to rally behind you here. We are rallying for you.
Sean and I recently completed a deal where part of what he was giving me in the process was cash for. Part of what I was giving him was a 1-year subscription to Basketball Card Fanatic. That's the first time I've structured one of those into a deal. So, and he wanted to pay me with Venmo first, or he wanted me to pay him with Venmo. And I don't have card Venmo. I have like Venmo for other things, but I couldn't connect the two quickly enough. So anyway, that's the inside joke there.
Well, two things I want to mention. First thing is Jeff Hart has now made it a $3 donation. You are up to about $5.25, I believe, altogether right now, Adam.
I got 5. I'll give him 5. That's $10. He's up to $10.
$10 coming from Erik. And because we did mention, Adam mentioned Basketball Card Fanatic magazine. Anybody out there who is not yet subscribed and would like to, on the ticker right now, you'll see the website bcfmag.com. Feel free to go there and subscribe to the magazine that Adam pours his heart and soul and all of his energy into. Meanwhile, holding down a career and a family, he puts out a wonderful product every month. So go to bcfmag.com, throw a subscription his way, and enjoy what you would then be receiving on a monthly basis. Let's move on.
I don't want to ruin anything, but somebody who's in the chat wrote a piece for next month, and it's awesome. And anybody who subscribes here in the next 5 days will get January's issue when it comes out. Print is hard; it takes a long time to get from actually processing to print and into your home, but we're doing it and we're making it work, and we're growing every month. So yes, please, anybody who's interested, go grab a monthly subscription. Try one for $12, and if you like it, then keep the subscription and cancel anytime.
There you have it. There you have it, guys. Okay, Alex Halame says, with both of you guys being big Kobe collectors, who would you say has the best Kobe collection outside of you two? I think Nico's Philly card collector has one of the absolute best. Do you guys? I know, Erik, you're in touch with most high-end collectors on the planet. Start with you. Who do you think has the best Kobe collection on the planet besides yourself, if you would even put yourself there?
I wouldn't even put myself there anymore. I probably sold a couple million in Kobe's the past year or two. I think one is interchangeable, and it could be Nikos or Philip. I think those two are pretty much interchangeable. And then Spin is probably right there. I haven't seen all. So the same thing is, I haven't seen all of Spinatron's collection, right? So I can't really give that assessment. But if there's a Mount Rushmore, from my opinion, especially now that some of the West Coast guys are starting to sell some of their collection, so it's dwindling down a little bit. Like the Logoman's gone, that, take $1 million out of there. I think right now the Mount Rushmore, in any order, is Nikos, Philip, and Spinatron. And from what I know, and not only are they the Mount Rushmore, they are some of the most helpful and nicest and genuine human beings. Their character and how much information they freely give me make me love being a Kobe collector even more on a daily basis.
I think your answer is great. You know more about it than I do, and I would probably defer to you. I've sold things to, I don't know if I've sold things to all of them through the years, but I've sold a lot to Philip. His collection, if you go follow him on Instagram, Philip Geo, is it Philip GOZ? I should know off the top of my head, but we're talking about collections of just Kobe that are in the tens of millions of dollars. Spinos is incredible. Mike, 0.4 seconds is incredible too. Yeah. And
I forgot about Mike.
Like they're all like I sit there and I like most of my great cards at this point, that are like huge, really big money, like Premier Auction type stuff. Most of them are Jordan and Kobe. And I look at my Kobe collection, which is a legit. It's a nice collection, guys. I've got some cool pieces. I just don't even touch those guys. Like I'm not even in their galaxy. And so for that to be like extra humble or whatever, like these guys have $100,000 card, $100,000 card, $500,000, like just value wise, incredible value. And the great thing is they all love it. So those collections aren't really getting parsed out. They're mostly staying put. And I think Erik probably feels the same way. That's kind of a cool thing to see.
Well, we were ticking down, and then the logo man, Kobe, got a bid, the 2 at 2. So this auction is going to go for at least another minute. I want to bring up Alex's comment here.
He is.
I'm just going to flip it so we can see Erik again. It says, Nikos is the nicest guy. Had a blast hanging with him, Knighton, and Gerald this year at the National. Gerald's a guy I've known for a long time just by going to the National. And, what a great crew that must have been. Would love to be able to rub shoulders in that circle. So, listen, guys, we are already at almost 3 hours going live here for this show. And in the past, it usually ends right about now. We are 16 seconds away from the potential end of the auction. And knowing exactly what everything sold for. The nice thing about the PWCC platform is that as soon as the auction ends, every card price is now shown at the actual final price, and the auction seems to be over. It's over. All right, Erik. So, Adam, you weren't here for this, but Erik took a guess, or he estimated what he thought would be the total revenue for all the cards in this auction. His guess was $12,870,000. By the shake of the head, I think he missed it. Erik, do you know what it is already, don't you?
It's 14,096,000.
14,096,000. So you were actually low. Well, congrats. That's a good thing then, right? That's a good thing for all the sellers.
You know, the market's a lot stronger than what even myself thinks. At certain areas, certain cards went over expectation. Now that as we were talking, I was scrolling back, looking through all the pages. There are very few that sold under what I thought they should sell for, and there's a lot that sold for over, a lot.
That's really that's great to hear. There's, of course, there's all the commentary and narrative that the hobby is not doing well. I don't see it not doing well, but then people will take it one step further and say, well, the high end's doing well, but the low and mid end aren't doing well. I can definitely see some truth. I just look at that again as the hobby is getting sort of smarter. People have been getting smarter for a long time now in the hobby. I've been saying this for I feel like 6 months already. And I just think that's the case. Rarity is important. Aesthetics are important. The player on the card is important. Prospects are risky. Hall of Famers are blue chip. There's all sorts of simple investing rules that can be applied to other areas of investment. And of course, when we're talking about this much money, you have to think about investing. You just have to. You can't just say, "Oh, I don't care if my card that I just bought for, I don't know, say right like this one right here for $780,000. Oh, I don't care if it goes down to zero. I like the card." That's not going to really happen to people that are putting in this kind of money. So when anything that's really, again, when it's significant to you, you want that card to do well. Although you may be collecting it, you want it to be an investment as well. Here's this Charizard, the PSA 10. I guess that's a first edition Shadowless Holo. Did $288,000. That's out the door. Kind of where they've been for quite some time, it feels like to me. But let's go through the comments, and then we'll take a couple final words from you guys. Anything that stuck out, didn't. Adam, are you now mourning that Mikan? How are you feeling? We'll get to all that in a couple seconds. Jonathan Branton says those Kobe Gold refractors went super low, the ones from 1996. Canner Collect says it's a big night for Brady Golds. Daniel Busby, the hobby is amazing and strong. Definitely amazing, definitely strong. Superbad says, yes, high end is doing A-OK, no doubt. And James Manis congratulates everyone who sold and purchased tonight. Great auction and a much better show. Thank you, folks. Thank you, James. Really appreciate that, guys. If you're still watching, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to Sports Cards Live, please, if you have not yet done that. Greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to Basketball Card Fanatic. Go to bcfmag.com and buy your 1-year subscription to the magazine. You can get digital and or print. I recommend print. Print's just more fun, and it is a beautiful magazine in hand. I say that without ever having one in hand, but I can just tell by seeing it how nice it is, and I want one badly, or one of each, actually, with Adam's autograph on the inside cover or the outside cover. In any event, guys, thank you, everyone, for joining. We're not done quite yet, but I just want to say I do want to thank everyone for joining tonight. This has been a blast. The PWCC Premier Auctions are always a lot of fun to cover. Having Adam and Erik join makes it that much better, especially for all of you out there, because I just can't talk about all this stuff like these guys can. And, subscribe to this channel, Sports Cards Live. Like this video, and let's run through the final comments here, and then we'll go to the panel again. Jason Kinder. I'm honestly disappointed that you didn't let that guy ask his phone. Okay, Jason, listen, this is a show covering the auction. Any question that anyone has can be asked outside of my show. This is my show, and I'm going to run it the way I want. Thank you. Anyway, James Fertitta, thank you very much. Brian Basketballs, you are welcome. Really appreciate it. And Jim wants to know if he can still donate to Adam for the Mikan. All right. Guys, final comments. Adam, how are you feeling about the Mikan?
Well, I think there's two things to say about the mic. I feel sad that I didn't get it because, like Erik said, it's just it was such a nice copy, you know. But on the other side of things, I've got my eyes on a couple other cards right now that I'm really super excited about. One card in particular that I've been trying to pry from a guy for months and months, and I think I've got a shot right now. And if I would have won the mic, it would have taken that opportunity away. And so I was really thinking about that card. I could have gone all in on the mic, but I was just like, no, I want a shot at that other card. So the other thing that I want to say just real quick before we end is that I really look forward to doing this show every month. I think it's so much fun. And it's fun because of the great people in the community who love sort of celebrating these things with us. It's fun because the folks at PWCC like Erik and really everybody who I've been able to engage with on their team is just fantastic. And they're super knowledgeable. They lead the industry. They're people who I've put my collection with, right? Like my collection is in the walls of their vault. That's how strongly I feel about PWCC. And you know, the last thing that I want to point out about this auction that's interesting is Erik missed the mark by 15% or whatever, Erik. You know, going so high. The thing that I always remind myself of, and I think about this every time I go to a show, or every time I sort of think about like the macroeconomics of the hobby, everyone is trying to move up, right? Like every time you go to a show, no one's coming to your table saying, hey, I mean, it's very rare for somebody to come to your table and say, I have this card. I'm looking to get something that's not as valuable and get some cash out. Everybody who I know is always looking to move up in this hobby, like almost all of us. And so if you think about what that means from a supply and demand perspective, there's only so many cards that are like really investable assets, right? And so, you know, as we continue to build on those things, it doesn't leave us a lot of room. You know, there's only so many of these big cards. And so as Jeremy, you point out, people are getting smarter. People are growing up. They're maturing. They're all trying to move up. And so it's not shocking to me that maybe some of the lower ends of the market are not seeing as much success right now, but I've never felt the high end is as healthy as it is today. I feel like it's as good as it's ever been. That's why I'm sitting here bidding $27,000 on a basketball card, because I think it is healthy, and I think it will be for the future.
Appreciate that, man. Great comments. Erik?
I agree with that. I think the market is healthier in a more stable environment. We're not seeing cards 2 and 3x over 2 to 3 weeks, 5 weeks. It just tripled. You're seeing cards that you felt probably should be going up, slowly going up. And they just keep, and the thing is, we're not talking about, well, they keep going up. Yeah, but they're not going up 100, 200 grand every month. They're just slowly going up. We had Jordan PSA 10s go 280, 312, 340, 312, now 360. You kind of see them going up and down, but they're going in the upward motion. I like that type of, to me, the past couple of years was kind of scary, right? It was good parabolic, but it was kind of scary because you didn't, would it crash? This is a lot healthier of a stable market. The lower end stuff, man, if I had a solution for them, I swear to God, I would share it for free. I just don't have that. And until PSA and Beckett brings their prices down, like to, sub $25, $30 a card, I just don't have a solution for them. And I'll continue to keep looking for that. But yeah, but the fact that
Erik,
it's over 14
that can be the
million,
problem, right? That could be the reason right there. That could be the reason right there. And that's going to correct in time when they do open up and bring their prices down, not to what they used to be, but to the next equilibrium level. So that'll help. That'll help. Sorry, continue, please.
Yeah, and that'll help, and it'll take months, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that I missed it and it did over 14 million, I'm blown away. Like, I'm shocked, absolutely shocked.
Well, the biggest congrats I have is for the consigners, to PWCC whose cards did sell, and to the new owners of these cards. I mean, there's some great stuff here. I'm going to run through some comments here quick. Kevin Walsh, thank you very much. Says, yes, great show as always. Really appreciate that. CM says, what's the litmus test to allow a card in the Premier Auction? It's really just about a $20,000 value, is it not, Erik?
Yeah, it's 20,000. Now there is a minimum percentage. So if it goes moving forward, so January on, if the card falls under 20,000, we'll have a minimum fee of $2,000, which would be 10% if it went over 20. So that's if it goes lower. So consigners, if you're thinking about sending stuff to PWCC for Premier, make sure that you strongly feel that it's above a $20,000 value, because I don't want you to get hammered and it sells at 16K, and we still take $2,000 out of you, right? So we want to keep our consignors happy. So if you feel it's a 12, 16, $18,000 card, go monthly. If you know in your heart it's, Premier, so just be diligent about that, because we did change.
Erik, you're in and out. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to cut
Go
you
ahead.
off right there just for now. And we're going to run through the rest of
Sorry.
the comments here. Daniel Busby, Erik does not have his own YouTube channel. Shane DeVos, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. CM, thank you for appreciating the show. We love doing it. Jeremy says, link to next interview. I think you're talking about me going on Sports Card. I'll put this in the chat right now, guys. Here's a link to that I just put in is a link to the stream that I think I'm going to be joining in the next little bit here. I don't know when I'll be on, but I think in the next little bit. Thank you very much, Benny Cromwell. Really appreciate that. TB12, Tom Brady rules the hobby. Yeah, throw that out there. Why not, right? Why not? The Brady Superfractor 216. Yeah, that's a big price for an amazing card, Power Wheels. Thank you for tuning in. Kevin Walsh picked up the Joe Burrow NTRPA. Wow. And the 2003 SP Signature Edition LeBron. Congratulations to you. TB12 yet again lets us know that Tom Brady's a god. Jeff Hart, thank you very much, Jeff. Really appreciate that. And same from you, Jim. Appreciate you guys. June, thank you so much for joining. Always great to have you regulars in here commenting, helping make the show what it is. With that, guys, I'm going to say thank you to Adam. Thank you, Adam, for coming in, even though, it was a little touch and go this week, but glad you got to come in and share some of your wisdom and your thoughts. And Erik, as always, great to have you for a longer time tonight. So thank you for being available. All right. I think he heard me. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
All right, buddy.
I got you.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys stay right there. We're gonna end this broadcast right away here. Birds on the bat. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Nate. Right there, Nate. Appreciate you. D Stiller says good evening. Hope you have a great rest of your year and a great. Yeah, guys. There's still gonna be more streams on Sports Cards Live before year end. So be subscribed and you'll see as they come on. And I'll be announcing on Instagram as well. So. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. Tune into Collectible Live. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Cajun Cardboard, Brian Dennison, on the Collectible YouTube channel.
Love that guy.
7 p.m. Eastern. Great guy. Check it out then. Everybody, that is it. Good night. Come see me on Sports Card Anonymous if you can.